Obviously, I think some of them were
Very
dramatized.
Very traumatized, yeah.
The weirdest one I saw was like the guy died from choking on a banana when he was like getting kinky with this girl. And, like she had him all restrained completely. It was so weird. He had a banana in his mouth. He choked to death on the banana. He was all tied up.
There was one the girl that has she was a violinist, and so she took such great care of her hands. She never
What's
wanted
the
anything
ear
to happen to her hands, and then so she tripped and
Oh,
fell
that's
down
you
the
guys.
stairs.
Yeah.
And so like sticking her arms out to break her fall, she like
Caveman.
through her chest, and so she just
It's saying that it won't use your Facebook page because you have to pay for it. You have to have a premium account.
Which one? Oh, the Twitter?
Fucking elite intro. Fucking elite game, man. Good shit, buddy.
This was H. This is H train. Oh, okay, that's why. We just have too many accounts going on.
Now you have to have premium for that. It looks. I swear.
That one-hander was sick by that Auburn guy. I remember watching it.
I hope the Saints keep losing, dude, so I can just make these videos of me in shambles. They're getting a lot of likes.
Yeah.
73 likes of me just in pain and my team just getting their ass whooped. I hope the Saints keep losing just so I can post just me in shambles anytime they lose.
People love to see you when you're down.
I'm gonna be the Chicago White Sox guy.
Jimmy covers.
Salute to Chicken Little.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice. Find us on the web at nbradio.us.
You are looking live.
You're not on.
Oh, You are.
You're not
What is-
on
How am I
LR.
not on?
Welcome back.
There we go. You are
Check.
looking live. I am not.
Oh, now.
Can you guys hear me? Oh man, I flubbed up this intro. This is awful. Yeah, Jimmy Covers,
Welcome
HG, Caveman.
You're
Jimmy
looking live.
Covers is a mess this morning. Awful intro for Monday Football Frenzy.
That's all right.
It was a great weekend, boys. Sports betting. The games were awesome. We had upsets.
You know
We
what
had
we're not
favorites
gonna mess
winning.
up?
We had some great wins this week. Where did we
did.
not mess up,
We
Caveman?
did. We're not going to mess up tonight at our first remote show
Yeah.
at the Clock Tower Grill tonight. We're
Monday
gonna be
night
going
football
live.
watch party.
Monday Night Football. We're starting at 6 p.m. If you want to come down and see us live in person, you can. Or you can check us out on the NBR pages and Until the Final Whistle social media pages, wherever you want to check out. But it's our first remote show. We want to give a big thank you to the Clock Tower Grill for giving us a chance.
Shout
And
out Clock Tower Grill.
I'm excited. I've been brewing. I got up at 5 a.m., got here at 6. I'm ready
Nice.
to have a long
Oh,
day
man.
of football frenzy. for
Heck
everybody.
yeah, dude. That is awesome,
We got a
Caveman.
long day
Really?
ahead of us.
Caveman motivated
Oh, yes.
me.
What are we starting with today? I think we jump into some fantasy football because this week HG and Caveman had a head-to-head
We
matchup.
get
Oh
squared off.
man.
We got the same record and everything too. This was actually a really close game because you still have the Jets defense tonight and Tyler Conklin. So honestly, you kind of have a chance here to beat.
I do.
You
I'm
do.
down 19. Yeah, if I did my math correctly.
134 to 115. Dude, I thought it was the Buccaneers defense single-handedly holding me into this game.
Catch you in there. Yeah, for sure.
They had 30 points at one point. I'm like, oh, I'm fine, dude. I hope they just keep beating down on the Saints. And they sure did. They sure did do that. But man, like T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, we had that matchup battle going on too. I got Chase Brown off the waiver wire because you see my running backs on this team, dude. You'll be disappointed in my drafting. Raheem Mostert, I got Chuba Hubbard before they started Andy Dalton, so he was doing absolutely nothing. Rico Dowdle, Samaje Perine was on my team for a couple weeks. My running back room is not
It was
the
yeah.
greatest.
It's been rough working in the running back room. You know, I messed up. I leave it to the Jags to have a guy like Tank Bigsby have just a fantastic week before. You know, just absolutely tear it up, and then the following week they're like, you know what, we're gonna do? We're only gonna give him 7 attempts, and he's only gonna get 24 yards. And then, you know, of course, he fumbles as well. Luckily, that didn't get picked up by the Bears, but yeah, it's just fantastic. So I rolled with Tank too, even though I saw that Bucky Irvin was going to be the starter with Rashad White being hurt. I was like, Tank was too dominant last week. He's going to get like 15 carries. Nope. Jacksonville decided they weren't gonna do that. They were gonna hand the ball off to Dearness Johnston. That was gonna be their most utilized running back that week.
Funny thing about Bucky Irving too, he wasn't even the leading rusher for the Buccaneers.
And then Sean
God.
Tucker, bro.
Yeah, Sean Tucker, he's wearing number 44, dude. He just torched up the Saints defense.
That was
dude.
carving up the Saints. Yeah.
Had like 130 something yards and a touchdown. God dang, man. We'll get into that game later. I got a lot to say. I'm still in shambles over that game.
Well, so let's anybody listening along, who do you think's gonna win the matchup between Caveman and HG? I just need 19 more points out of Tyler Conklin and the Jets defense tonight. Do I get the win?
I'm on a 3-game win streak. If you can knock me off this week, you'll ruin all my momentum.
Let us know. Team HG, Team Caveman. Let us know in the chat.
See,
How the rest of your fantasy leagues going, fellas?
This ESPN fantasy, I'm about to be 5-1. This is an 8-team league. Everybody's team is stacked, but I was one of the only people that was able to actually draft my team. So I do have Cooper Kupp who's injured, but like I got Baker and Jordan Love, so I'm just stacked in the quarterback room. Chuba Hubbard, Kamara, Achane. Achane, we can just skip over him.
Don't talk about HG.
Jamar Chase, Pickens, who's been extremely quiet, which kind of sucks because when he gets going, dude. Pickens is solid. That's the wide receiver 1 over there in Pittsburgh. Garrett Wilson tonight as my flex. That's what's really keeping me in this league. I got such a good receiver room that I could put like Cooper Kupp or Garrett Wilson at the flex and still have starters like Jamar Chase in the game and Pickens at the 2 wide receivers. But I am just demolishing everybody. Like the 1 week I had my worst week, I still ended up winning the game. So it's like people got to watch out in this league now.
Is that a PPR league you're in too?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. See, PPR, you just going after the good wide receivers. That's how you do it.
If
You
they
can
get
have
a
just
lot of
all right
targets.
running. Honestly, you can go for running backs that are just okay, but as long as they also catch like 4 or 5 passes a game, you'll probably be able to win most of your matchups.
Sabrina's got Team HG. I see that comment there. Well, one thing we can relate on, Sabrina, since we're not picking the same winner, both of our teams got dismantled at home. Yeah, let's go. Saints and the Cowboys.
Broncos stink.
Oh, yeah, no, the Cowboys. That was rough too.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to get into that.
We're both in pain.
To recap some more fantasy football we got here. You know what? The CBS leagues, boys, going to 5-1 in both of them. It looks like got a convincing 154 to 90 win, thanks to the combination of Baker Mayfield and Chris Godwin. What a duo that was this week.
Oh, yeah.
Holy, had that going in 2 leagues right there. I had Godwin going in 3. Shout out Chris Godwin.
For the 2
You get the free shout out this week because
No
man,
free shout outs.
Nah,
He got through the win.
he saved my fantasy week. I mean, I had a pretty good week regardless, but I mean, he was the boost I needed. 38.5 in this one, 11 catches, 125, 2 touchdowns. Awesome tackling by the Saints defense on that one. Like, it was a 70-yard screen pass he took to the house. Joe Mixon looking great in his return, helping me out as well. This other league, I'm feeling pretty safe. You never know, but he does still have Josh Allen and the Bills defense. I've got the Bills kicker. However, it's a 151 to 37 lead, and I gotta just maybe a moment of silence.
51 to 37.
Moment of silence for my opponent here. All right, so in this league, let me just read the guys that he has had go and what their score was. Khalil Herbert, 0.5 points. Ramondre Stevenson, 0 points.
Oh man.
Amari Cooper, 6.2 points.
Jeez.
Marvin Harrison Jr., 0 points.
And injured.
Yeah, he didn't catch a pass, but got knocked out with a concussion. So that was rough for him. So R.I.P. Mile High.
Yeah,
beat them. His top player was Brandon Aubrey with 12, Brock Bowers with 11.6 right behind, and then DeAndre Hopkins 7.4. So that's how you end up scoring 37 points.
Sounds like my fantasy football team in my Guardian League, or my Guillotine League. Yeah, rest in peace, Jimmy Covers, Guillotine. Made it to week 11 last year, and it's a lot of fun because like by the middle to end, there's a lot of gamesmanship that you can play in that league, where you can like fade yourself and make money if you bet against yourself, and then if you win, like yeah, you lose, but like the higher you go in the standings and like the more money you'll make, because it is like a four money league. All Guillotine leagues are through their site, guillotineleagues.com. Made it to week 11 last year, and it's like by then, you started out with 16 teams, buddy. Like everybody by week 11, everybody is freaking loaded, and it's just a crapshoot. It's a lot of fun, a lot of gamesmanship. The team I started with when I drafted them, 5 trades, waiver wire pickup. Everybody gets better every single week. It's not like your team is going to stay the same. So like, I got Tank Dell this week, buddy. I'm trading Tank Dell after he goes off. You know what I mean? Like you got to capitalize on a guy, because is he going to go off probably the next week? Probably not. You know what I mean? Like there's always those ebbs and flows in fantasy, and you're really trying to find the guy in the matchup specifically. So kind of like you can mix in like our pick'em and the fantasy football team builder, where it's like, oh man, now I got to pick a guy from this team. These are my options. Like, I have Brian Thomas Jr. and I had to ride with him against the Bears, and I knew that early, brother. I knew. Other than Baker Mayfield, 4 tuds, obviously. Jaden Reed played pretty good for me, but Tucker Kraft didn't do much. I knew when I lost Cooper Kupp for the year, I was like, you're going to have like 1 or 2 guys you're going to keep forever. And your first pick, you can't get rid of at all, as in most fantasy leagues. So it's like, but your boy Jimmy Covers was rattled early, bub. And then I also had I picked up old Cuzzy running back because I thought that he was going to go off James Conner against the Green Bay Packers, and the Green Bay Packers shut that down, boys.
3
They
fumbles.
spanked
I got the
the
waiver
Cards.
wire for their
Brutal.
defense.
For the
That was
Packers?
clutch.
Yeah,
The
dude.
3 fumble recoveries.
The Packers lead the NFL in turnovers, boys.
They're really good at generating.
If we can get a little bit of defense,
Yeah.
the Packers are going to be a
Oh, yeah.
big threat
So you
because
got,
we can hang 40 on anybody.
maybe try messing with that cord on that.
Yeah, my whole thing over here has been jacked up, dude.
Sorry
Jimmy
about the
covers
technical
his
issue.
mic.
That's not
is-
even on Jimmy today. I can't.
It doesn't like him today. You know,
Jeez,
it's,
voodoo man.
Buddy, I had all the mics on.
there we go.
There we go.
There we go.
I had all the mics on and nothing came. I was like, what the heck is going on? I just got rattled.
The mic don't like you today, Jimmy.
Jimmy's not covering. I mean, even though we went 7-2 in college football, boys, and it was a good day for the sports bank, dude. Good day for all the
Let's
sports
go.
bets. Fantasy football was tough for your boy, R.I.P. Jimmy Covers in Guillotine League. And in my Navy League, I lost real bad. That team stinks, riddled with injuries. Nobody wants to trade with me because it's cutthroat. It's all my Navy friends. So, like, screw you. But I do have Derrick Henry. He did get 2 touchdowns,
Oh yeah.
and I think I'm going to trade him for $100
Value right
for
there.
somebody who wants to pay my entry fee.
That's value right there.
And because I think Derrick Henry is going to be a valuable piece going down the
Oh,
stretch
yeah.
for
No,
any
dude.
fantasy football team.
We'll talk about this later when we get to our NFL. But Ravens, maybe the best offense in football.
I know,
All-
dude.
I'll explain why when we get into it later. So I kind of cap off fantasy football here. If you watch the Wednesday show, obviously we do team builder and we spin a random wheel of teams and try to put together a fantasy football lineup, just your standard lineup with standard PPR scoring. So the squad we have this week did all right, ended up scoring 127.6. Honestly, what just happened is we ended up taking
That beats me, buddy.
the wrong guys from some of
Yeah.
the right teams, you know. So our QB, we had Baker. Obviously, he went off 30.9. Would have been like 40 if he didn't throw 3 interceptions too.
That would have been also
Yeah.
50-point game.
Would have been insane. Running back, we had Jameer Gibbs, 12.1, not bad. This
Kind of
game
an
it was
average day.
David Montgomery.
David
not Baker.
Montgomery Day, yeah.
That's the risk when we do this team builder, and you got to pick when you got like a 2-headed monster there.
yeah.
We went with Gibbs. We picked wrong. It was Montgomery's day that day.
Monty.
We got
The
running back
Lions
2.
won, but at what cost? We'll get into that later.
Yeah.
On Monday Football Frenzy.
Yeah.
Running back 2, Derrick Henry. He was solid.
The
He
man, yeah.
came in clutch for us.
He was our RB2?
RB2, yeah.
How? Who was our RB? Oh, Gibbs was our RB1?
Yeah,
Just because did they come around first on the team builder?
I think we
Oh,
got
okay.
Gibbs first, and so
Okay.
we put him at 1. So 25.2 out of Derrick Henry. Wide receiver 1, Amon Ra. Not too bad. 13.7. Would have liked more out of him. This is where we messed up. RB2, we went with Mike Evans off of the Bucks. Again, we picked wrong. Chris Godwin was the guy to get this week. It's always kind of a toss up. Is Mike Evans going to get one on Marshawn Lattimore? Is Lattimore going to get one on Evans? And honestly, I think Baker he didn't even really need to look Evans' way that much because the rest of the Saints defense was just crumbling around Lattimore and Evans. So
Those,
Why-
at least
why-
we could say one thing. They hung 51 on us at home, but we shut down Mike Evans. Come on.
yeah, why
Come
even
on now.
test it?
Come on now.
Our tight end Kyle Pitts, 10-point game for him. That was all right.
Was that the Thursday night game?
No, he was Sunday.
Okay.
They were
Chuba
like-
Oh,
Hubbard-
that's right. Yeah, they were. Yeah.
that was weird. I'm
It's
like,
weird. I was calling a baseball game. I missed.
why
pretty much all
is
that.
Carolina in like the 2 o'clock?
Yeah,
window?
2 o'clock window.
I
Get
think
him
it's
out of that slate.
4
Yeah.
o'clock.
Yeah,
What time?
yeah.
Whatever.
I can go on a rant.
Chuba Hubbard, 15.3 in our flex spot. Not too
We'll
bad.
take that.
Brandon
Yeah.
Aubrey, 12 off as our kicker.
Not much offense. I thought they were
Yeah.
the Lions' defense. The Cowboys and Mike McCarthy, guys. I wanted to throw my remote control to the TV. This guy is such an idiot, dude. Coaching football, bro. I was watching the game, a little bit of it that I could, dude. 3rd and 6. The Detroit Lions have 9 men in the box. Mike McCarthy, in all of his wisdom, what does he call on 3rd and 6 with 9 guys in the box?
Run up the middle.
Pitch right with
Oh,
freaking,
That's
and
it.
you're gonna
There you
get
go.
you're gonna get Ezekiel Elliott at 230 pounds trying to pick up 6 yards
on the
on a
edge.
tray counter to the wide side of the field.
With
No.
that many guys in the box, I mean, the pitch, you're
They
obviously.
lost 3
Who's he
yards.
outrunning?
They lost 3 yards.
Yeah, who's he
And the
outrunning?
fans are booing. They were down like 35 points already at this point. It's like, bro, you're not throwing the ball to
Just gave up.
just gave up and rolled over, dude.
I mean, come on, like. I know the Lions,
Brutal.
they're a good team offensively, but their defense has struggled.
Gaping holes.
We saw Gino.
Even with Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah. We saw Gino carve him up on the Dak. Come on, you got CeeDee Lamb. I know Brandon Cooks is hurt, but Jalen Tolbert's been a good substitute.
They have a good tight end.
Ferguson.
Ferguson is solid as Sears, man.
Look, I don't know, like Dak. I don't even care that you don't have as many weapons, bro. You're getting paid like $60 million. a year.
Yeah, dude.
He's got a massive contract. He's got like the second most expensive contract in the league right now. Like,
Yeah.
You need to be doing more than
A lot.
putting up 9 points at home.
Yeah, it's
All right,
tough.
we'll get into that more. Just to round out the fantasy team builder, we went with the Broncos defense. Sertan got
Not
hurt.
good.
He got hurt early.
Oh,
and
was it bad?
Concussion for
Concussion,
the
yeah.
Okay,
on the
all right.
very
At least
first
he's
drive.
all right.
Yeah, so that really threw off how the whole scheme that the Broncos had. They went to
Yeah.
playing a lot more zone,
Yeah,
and like the Chargers were able to get the run going and
the run going
just
from that.
dominated them in time of possession. Only 3 points out of there. We had our bench because we did take some bench guys just in case. Didn't go too crazy. Deontay Johnson would have been our best wide receiver. He had 19.8. Taylor didn't play, so he ended up staying on their bench. Dalton Schultz, 6.7 as our backup tight end. Didn't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Drake May was our backup QB, actually. He had a decent May, actually.
He looked pretty good for a start.
Not a bad start. I mean,
First half was shaky. I think he had like
Yeah.
2 picks, I think.
he had a couple of turnovers, but he threw 3 touchdowns. He has more touchdowns in his first start than Jacoby Brissett's had all year, so there's that.
And he had some pretty nice throws. He had some pretty nice throws.
Not
I'll
gonna
give
lie,
it to
yeah.
him.
I did see a couple
He made
highlights,
some
like
bad throw, like
the game day final I was at. You know, I
Yeah.
finally kicked my girlfriend out of my place, and I was like, all right, I get to watch football in peace finally without being nagged on all day. After working up basically all of Sunday, I'm pretty busy, and I finally got to watch like some of the highlights from some of the other games I didn't watch. I watched the Packers game at B-Dubs in between jobs where I was going to do play-by-play at.
Yeah.
And so I was watching all the early window games and some of the beginning time slots of the 2 o'clock starts. If they started at 2:30, I was toast. But if they started at like 2, I kind of watched the beginning of it, like the first quarter at least. And so I finally got to watch all the highlights of the mid window games. I did see a couple throws from Drake May that were kind of good. Then it also showed, but he's a rookie quarterback in his first start. He had the deer in the headlights there a couple times.
yeah. I mean, even though it was at home, I mean, the Patriots' offensive line is god
Just
awful,
awful.
and I mean,
Can't do anything.
up against the
Yeah.
front that has Will Anderson Jr.
Right.
and Daniil
Yeah,
Hunter
they were teeing off.
on the edges.
Even
So
Houston didn't really impress me all that much.
it was.
I don't know.
It wasn't that impressive of a 20-point win. I mean, they put up.
Yeah, it was
40
It's
still
just
41-21, but it didn't really
Yeah, I don't know.
apply in the game.
Yeah, I'm just not. I don't know. I saw because I'm only going off highlights in the previous couple games that I've watched in the Houston Texans. I don't know, man. Like
They've been kind of slow to start this year.
It's been a
I'm
quiet
just not
5-1.
convinced yet. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I know their record's good. Like right now, so there's teams that have good records, but I think they're still a mid-ranging team.
Hopefully, Mixon can stay healthy. I want to see
You know?
what
Right
that
on.
team's going to look like when they can have a few games where the defense is going to have support of a run game because
Yeah.
CJ Stroud's not going to have to throw the bunch. With Mixon in there, I think they're just a better team running the football.
Much better.
I
And we
really
saw
did.
it.
Yeah.
He had 128 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
I think 102 on the ground, but then he had a number of catches as well because he's also a dual threat kind of out of the backfield.
And honestly, I'd like to see him later in the season. That's really where he starts to pop off too.
Yeah.
Like battling injury, obviously injury-prone player, but he's still like very good, and it doesn't really affect his play. Like he goes out and plays strong, but he'll still like take a tough injury.
I think with the tech, we kind of expected them to be this offensive juggernaut with all these. Like they brought in Stephon Diggs, you got Nico Collins and Dell Stroud. They brought in Joe Mixon, but really, I think the identity of this team is going to be a good team, like physical team on defense that plays you tough defensively
Yeah.
and wears you down running the football. I think that's the Texans team we're going to get that's okay with me. That's winning football come January.
It is.
With the
That's what you
injuries
got-
in
yeah.
your receiving room, run it.
And who's the running backs?
They got Joe Mixon and I don't know his name is like Dware Agumbawale. He was
He's
good
gonna have to
starting
step up.
in
they got
between.
Damian
I'm still
Pierce
not.
and
Damian
Cam
Pierce
Akers
too.
too. So
Cam Akers.
Yeah.
They got a few
And their
guys.
Both of
offensive
those
line,
guys
their
are
offensive
dealing-
line's pretty banged up. And
If Laramie Tunsil,
but I agree
stay
with you.
on
That's a good
sides,
observation. Like they definitely need to have something where, like right now, like teams are looking for their identity. Like what is the Houston Texans' identity?
I think
You
it's
know,
a tough run
I
of
agree.
football first.
It's going to have to be. It's
Yeah.
going to have to be because if they think that they're just going to be able to go out there and do what they did last year whenever they want, I think we've seen it.
Yeah.
That's not possible. And then when Stephon Diggs is out there, he only can run 2 routes anyway, so you kind of know what he's going to do.
Well, especially with Nico Collins being hurt, like
Yeah.
when Nico's healthy, I think they can air.
He's one of the best.
ball
He's
a
one of the
little
best wide receivers in the league, I think.
bit. I put him top 5 right now.
Oh wow.
I mean, he missed a week, so somebody might have caught him. But he was leading the league in receiving yards. Yeah, he's just going off. He has a bunch of touchdowns.
It spreads out the field way
Yeah,
more
I'm
when
just-
they're all healthy. Though. I agree with you.
You take the first 6 weeks of this season, there aren't many receivers that have been better than Nico Collins. I'm just gonna put it out there. Like from what we've seen on the field, production wise,
That's the bright spot of the Texans right now.
I think
Other
so,
than the
for sure.
it's
defense,
tough to name 5
Definitely
guys that are better than him. That's all
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Jaden
Pretty
Reed.
hard. You know what?
Jaden Reed's been good.
I'll
Jaden
give
Reed.
it to him.
Jaden
I'll
Reed.
all
I'll
right.
give it to him.
Justin
He kinda
Jefferson,
came
Jamar
in-
Chase.
Jane Reed's wide receiver 1, except
Uh,
after
Chase.
Romeo Dobbs kind of balled out.
Yeah.
Romeo
Yeah.
Dobbs played good. You know, yeah. I knew
Before Dobbs
that
balled
tat.
out.
I mean, I knew Aaron Rodgers was going to get him a touchdown. I bet on that. Or I bet on Jaden Reed anytime touchdown and Romeo Dobbs anytime touchdown. Jordan Love over 2 touchdown passes again, cashed at plus 100.
Yeah.
Packers covered the 5. But yeah, I don't know. I could probably name. I don't know. Like he's good. I think Nico Collins is definitely a top 10 wide receiver. Maybe that 7, 8, 6 set. Like you know, I definitely hear what you're saying. I definitely agree. I'm not. You
in
know.
the single digits for sure.
What I'm
Yeah,
saying
I
through
don't
the
know.
first 6 weeks is hasn't been fun. Like
That's
I got
right.
you.
now that
Yeah.
Jamar Chase is
I'm with
starting
you.
to play better,
I'm with you.
he's probably gonna.
That's a
pass him.
better point.
Like
That's a
what's
better
gonna happen when Tyreek Hill gets Tua healthy again? Like are we gonna take Nico over Tyreek? But so
As of
far,
right now,
as
so
of right
far.
now, there hasn't been 5 guys that have played better than Nico.
Then that I definitely agree with for sure.
We'll see what happens. Like if you can continue that dominance when there are other guys, that teams start to get healthy, that find their identity, that they, the guys that missed training camp or whatever because they were holding
Yeah.
out when they get going. Like because like even Ayuk, he's been kind of bad this season. Like if he gets going, like those guys are going to be about equal too. So there's just that a lot's going to change. Obviously, we're still very early into the season, but you got to admit, through the first what is this week 6 now?
Yep, week
Has it-
6.
There really haven't been many guys better than Nico. I'm just putting it there.
Very true. Very true right there. Do we want to go on a quick break before we do
Quick
college
break.
football?
We'll come back to
Yeah.
college football. That was fantasy. Good fantasy stuff, boys. On Wednesdays, we have more fantasy football for you,
Absolutely.
where we
building exercise.
team building exercise, starts and sits, winners and losers.
Waiver wire ads.
Plenty more for you on Monday Football Frenzy. Back with Military Broadcast Radio till the final whistle.
I'm glad I
What
put
the
my
hell,
bench
dude?
Olave
That-
this week.
Had me frazzled, dude, with
Oh,
this
my.
mic, dude.
Yeah.
And then I'm getting
It is
like
so
the.
weird.
Can you come here, dude? I don't know if you'll be able to hear it now. No, you're not gonna hear it now. It doesn't matter.
Oh, it's about this song's playing.
Yeah, while the song's playing, I'm getting like this buzzing in my headphones, and it's kind of like I'm getting like a. And then it like will go away for like a minute, and then when
Okay, well, first of
it'll
all,
like come back.
I don't know why this is on here because we're not using that. So that's the first thing.
Oh, that's just the old headset.
That's just a headset.
Plug in.
So when you hear that like that,
it's just something else. Another.
usually it's because you have too many things plugged in. It could be your laptop's too close to this, kind of like microwave or refrigerator.
Yeah.
Try it here and there and see if it makes a difference now that we
I
have
won't
plugged
be
in.
able to because it's
That's true.
the music. I'll find
That's
out.
true.
Yeah.
What game do we start with?
I think we got to start with that Ohio State Oregon game.
Yeah, all right.
Do we want to do that, or do we want to dismantle Colorado's defense?
No. They played okay. I mean,
It
you
was
know,
a
like
bad game.
they're playing a bunch of white kids from Kansas State, so it's like, you know.
It wasn't a
But
bad
I did like Dion calling out Shallow though. Did you see that at the post game? Called out Shallow. He said he played soft as shit.
First game jitters.
Because it was his first game back from his broken arm or whatever, I guess.
He had his surgery like the same day after he got injured.
Yeah, he like broke his forearm or something like that.
Something in
It
his
was
arm.
it was a bone, and I think it was his forearm, is what I read.
I honestly forgot that he's out just because of the defense.
Texas
So,
rolled Oklahoma.
Yeah, that was
there's so much
for
for a
rivalry.
rivalry, dude.
Yeah, that's hardcore.
No, I think we start with Oregon honestly, because that lived up to the hype they had.
Lived up to the hype, dude.
Very even.
I'll intro
match.
it. I'll intro it, and then because this will be a better intro. And
That's
then
Oklahoma's welcome to the
first, we should definitely redo that clock tower intro since we got some watchers and listeners.
Yeah, I think we just keep mentioning it every
Keep
time we
mentioning
come
it.
back from break.
Yeah, I agree. So I'll kick it to you, Caveman. When I'll intro you, and then you can talk about the clock tower, and then
I'll kick it to HG for Ohio State.
for State Oregon.
Cool. Well, let's loop around with this. I hope the Saints keep losing at this point, honestly, so I can keep making sad videos. Man.
I can't wait to watch. I can't wait to watch.
Just like sitting there in a fucking apron
Yeah.
on break.
Before our D2 or before our college football segment is over, I just need like 1 minute. I'm going to talk about the Mines game this last weekend
They're
that I
good.
worked. Yeah, it
I
was
like
fun.
watching them.
Welcome back. You are looking live at Military Broadcast Radio. I'm your host, Jimmy Covers. To my left is Caveman. To my right is HG. And Caveman has some big news for Till the Final Whistle, boys. What are we in for? What are we in for, Caveman?
Tonight is Till the Final Whistle's first remote show. We're going to be having a Monday Night Football watch party at the Clock Tower Grill in Lone Tree, Colorado. So if you guys want to check that out, you can come in person live and watch the game with us. You can check us out on the Till the Final Whistle pages or the NBR pages. But we're going to be live 6 o'clock p.m. tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. We're going to get our first remote. I just want to give another thank you to the Clock Tower Grill for giving us
Thank
that
you, Clock Tower
opportunity.
Grill. Thank you.
First ever remote.
First remote for Till the Final Whistle, baby.
It's
Military
gonna be a
Broadcast
banger.
Radio. Are we going to be doing the rebet stuff, Caveman?
Oh, yes, we are. We do want to give a shout out to that as well. We have been using a bet stamp to kind of check our betting a little bit. They have a
Shout out
line,
Bet Stamp.
shows the line from every app that you have an account with, so you can find the line that'll make you the most money back on your bets. And another app that we found on there is Rebet. So if you use Rebet at all, download it, use code CedricK, and you'll be able to help out Till the Final Whistle, get some more remote shows. But yeah, that's all that we got there for that promo. HG, you got one of the biggest games of the week to open us up with. And this one lived up to the hype, everybody.
Yes, sir.
This game was crazy. College football, what do we got?
A couple weeks earlier, we had Georgia, Alabama. That one lived up to the hype. And now, the very first meeting between two Big Ten teams, one team just new to the Big Ten, could be a great series to come for years on end. Ohio State, Oregon, down here in Eugene, man, was it a good game. Definitely lived up to the hype. Oregon escapes with a 1-point victory over Ohio State.
What was the score?
32-31.
32-31 Ducks over the Buckeyes.
I think the Ohio State fans really underestimated the loudness level in that stadium.
I agree.
It only holds
Pop it.
50,000 people. They're up to like almost 130 decibels.
Yeah.
There's photos of Ohio State fans like plugging their ears.
It's
In the
those
crowd.
it's those 12th man psychopaths up there, dude.
Oh yeah,
Oregon's got
The
some
Seattle
crazy-
Seahawks fan base. I mean, everybody gets shout out Kansas City. I mean, I know they do their thing, but dude,
12
those dudes in the Pacific Northwest,
Northwest. It's crazy.
they're football frenzy up there, bub.
Oh yeah,
That Oregon Duck riding that Harley Davidson on the Pat McAfee show in the morning
that was sick.
is sick, dude.
Oh, dude, they were amped.
It
Oh,
was it. I think that plays into the game. I don't know. Like, do you guys think that some of that pageantry of college football, like,
It really.
It
if
definitely-
take away the pageantry, just play the game normal, like a normal Sunday football game, right? Like professionals, like they just roll out there, and I'm not gonna take too long, but they just roll out there. Okay, we're pros. You know, stretch a little bit. Boom, we're playing. There's no lead. There's no crap. There's no ducks riding motorcycles. There's no band on the field. There's no special guest pickers. It's just you wake up and you play football. If that happened in college football, does this game turn out the same way? Or do you guys think that the pageantry of college football,
it
does that play a
absolutely-
part of
It
the game?
helps. It
So,
helps teams a lot.
I mean, because not all of these guys are going to go be pros. This is like the last hurrah for a lot of these guys, really. And I mean, these guys, most of them probably going to go on and do some sort of normal job. And you got all this pageantry where if you're the home team, like it gives you that little extra hype, that extra juice. Whereas, like, you're like one of these guys on the road. It gives you extra nerves, more anxiety, makes you more prone to mistakes. Home field advantage is so much more prevalent in college sports and
Oh,
college
yeah.
football, especially than really many other leagues.
There's all
I
the
mean, it's-
traditions.
Yeah,
Like those games, those guys. If you're a senior at Oregon or like Vanderbilt, for example, those guys on that Vanderbilt team that don't go to the league, they remember that Alabama game for the rest of their
Oh,
life.
yeah.
That's the story that they tell
tell
their
their-
children, their family, like for the rest of their life. That's their like moment.
That's your
That's a
moment.
huge moment for them. So I mean, big for the fans. It creates way more hype. So you definitely get louder stadiums from this. It's like watching somebody or like watching one of your college classmates kick the tuition field goal on the Pat McAfee
Elite,
pregame
dude.
show.
Elite.
Like that's so hype.
The fans are going nuts, dude. I love that stuff, dude. I love it.
You're paying your own tuition. You just got to.
That's why I like college. I love college football. I love the NFL. I like college football more
college
than the NFL.
football's hype.
Because, like what you just said, like most of these dudes aren't going to be. There's obviously NFL players on these teams,
Yeah.
but at the same time, like majority of these players aren't going to be NFL players. They're going to go be an engineer or doctor somewhere, dude.
go play in the Canadian
And
football
you see
league.
him laying it all out there, dude. Like these guys, the pads were cracking, the boys were running. 22 first downs for Ohio State and lost.
Yeah.
That is moving the football and not scoring when you need it to.
I'll tell you, one guy that the pageantry got into his head and made him play worse.
Oh,
Denzel
man.
Burke, Ohio State DB,
What
he
are
was
we
getting
doing?
victimized out there,
Yeah.
dude. Victimized. He gave up, I think, might have been 3 touchdowns, a number of deep pass plays. Dylan Gabriel was going at that guy all game. I mean, whether it was Evan Stewart or Tez Johnson on him, those guys were
Dude.
just feasting. Evan Stewart had an amazing game, basically $150 and a touch. Had a 69-yarder that he reeled in. Dude was averaging over 20 yards a reception.
Oh my.
And Denzel Burke was the guy covering them the most. And shout out Evan Stewart. He stepped up. Trayshawn Holden, really dumb ejection in such a huge game early in the game where he spit on an Ohio State defender and got ejected.
After a
and-
32-yard catch.
Yeah, didn't come back to bite the Ducks. Ultimately, they were able to win. But that's something Dan Lanning, like you gotta talk that kid. Like, man, you cannot be having that type of mental lapse in a game this big that has this many implications for the playoffs, for seeding and everything like this.
What happens now with Ohio State? In the Big Ten, if they don't play in the Big Ten championship, I don't think they're going to get left out of the top 12. But now, if they have to go on the road somewhere in the
They
first
have a
round of the
tougher
con,
game.
they're going to have a tough game, dude.
Harder start.
Yeah.
Will Howard and Ryan Day lost the game for Ohio State.
Oh yeah.
Will
You guys were
Howard,
saying in the group
buddy.
chat.
It was 5 seconds left. You have to communicate. They have the green dot now in college.
Yeah, because there's.
They have
time
communications.
stealing. They got to talk to each other.
They talk to each other on the sideline now. So, right through the helmet, just like the NFL players do. It has to be communicated to the quarterback. how much time we have left and timeouts, right? He has to make a throw to the end zone on that. He scrambled up the middle. You have to take a shot.
Slides down.
And he slides down. And then the plays leading up to that, what on earth, the clock management in the fourth quarter, they could have burned the timeouts, gotten the stop, and given them more time on the clock instead of having timeouts and no time on the clock.
Yeah.
And when you have an offense where Will Howard throws for 2 touchdowns and 300 yards passing, you can score on the Oregon Ducks defense.
Yeah.
All I need is just the time. There is no foresight from Ryan Day. Ryan Day has to be gone from Ohio State. If they do not win a playoff game, or if they have to go say maybe, I don't know, Tennessee, Ole Miss, you taking Ohio State over Ole Miss right now?
Not on the road.
I'm not taking
Maybe
them on
if they
the
were
road.
the home
Not on
team,
the road.
but a playoff game in an SEC stadium.
Say Tennessee drops another game, right? They're probably going to be like the 4th team in the SEC, playing the 3rd team in the Big Ten, which will probably be Ohio State now since Oregon has a tiebreaker. There's still some other teams. USC is going to have a say. Penn State's in there.
Penn
Penn
State's
State's a
going to be
wagon.
above.
We're going to get to Penn State here in a second because they had a big win over USC, which another game that lived up to the hype. We were talking about it last week. This was a great week for college football. All these games lived up to the hype. South Carolina, Alabama, close game also. But to finish off on the Ohio State-Oregon game, great game. It was the Saturday night primetime game. Your boy Jimmy Covers bet the over. If you follow me on Twitter, hammered the over. That cash middle of the second half. It was great. And but Ohio State, I think they lost the game rather than Oregon winning the game. Dan Lanning, great head coach. Where'd he come from? Because he got that job there because what's his name left, didn't he? No, where did Dan Lanning? Who am I thinking? Oh, I'm thinking of the Washington guy. My bad. From Alabama. Yeah, my bad. Never mind. Washington
Lanning
also
was
playing
considered for the Alabama
for the Alabama
job as well.
coaching job. That's what that's where I got confused.
One more note on Penn State and Ohio State.
Or,
They got a huge game against each other November 2nd.
Ooh,
That's at Beaver Stadium too.
Oh man. They're gonna have a whiteout, brother.
Yeah.
That game is gonna be electric.
I mean,
We might need it till the final whistle remote show
Ohio State
for that game.
could be losing that game. That's on my birthday,
Happy birthday,
November 2nd.
November
So,
2nd.
that's going to be one heck of a present that college football is giving me. That's going to be an incredible game.
Incredible.
You
game.
know, Beaver Stadium is going to be.
It's gonna be electric.
Oh.
Come on.
I hate that.
You
Oh, it's brutal.
So
dude.
hype.
It's like but they were doing that in the 80s, man.
Yeah.
You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, come on, man. Like they were doing that. Like the same with the Florida State. Like it was cool when I was a kid with the Florida State. Seminole chop or whatever. Like, bro, it's 1987. Like it's 2024. We need to come up with something.
It's like Ole Miss and their cowbells. They
How are they even allowed to do that? You can't play mute. The band can't play their fight song if they're on off. Like you're not allowed to do anything to like gain an advantage with. But here's Mississippi State. They can ring their freaking cowbell, but nobody else can do something. I'm sure we can get some vuvuzelas out there and some freaking of those little things that you bang together that you hear at soccer games that make all that noise. Like, why can't we do that at Michigan or like one of these other top teams? But they can ring this freaking cowbell, and that's cheating, dude. That's cheating.
I've always wondered this. Do players on the field, like when they're going up for a pass and the defender's there, can they yell out, "Ah!" like that, kind of like scare them to get
I'm
them?
sure they're cussing at each other.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
I was
they're
just going to
always-
say,
yeah.
because,
Buddy, defensive backs take their towel out of their back and throw it at the ball sometimes.
Yeah, there we go. What is there a regulation saying that they can't use cowbell or whatever? during the
Anything
game?
short of contact after 5 yards, you can pretty much.
Is there a regulation though? Or are we just assuming there's a regulation?
Well, you're not going to get flagged if you're just, screaming at a guy.
The cowbells in the
Yeah.
Oh no, they're allowed to do that.
Okay, well then they're allowed to do that.
They're allowed to
That's
do
why
that.
they're allowed to do that.
I don't know if they're grandfathered in because of like some mafia rule, because it's the NCAA and you can just do whatever you want. If you do it. You know what I mean? Like, so I mean, I don't know, but like, there's bands like Ohio State's band is a weapon. Have you guys seen Ohio State's band? They're like one of the best Big Ten bands like in the country. Like they're awesome. They do some insane stuff. If you've never seen them, go check out the YouTube videos, people. They do some insane stuff. It's great. So like, you don't think that they couldn't use that to be like an advantage, but you can have another team bringing this cat. I'm gonna get off my soapbox.
But
boys.
speaking of Old Miss, man, they dropped
dude.
another game in Death
They're out of
Valley.
the top
Two
12
loss. Yeah,
The
they're two
Tigers,
losses.
man, what a game that was as well. Both teams seeming like they wanted to win. A lot of bad mistakes and big moments, whether it be dumb penalties. I mean, Old Miss, 110 penalty yards.
Jeez,
That's
Holy
crazy, bro.
that, oh
Holy
my god.
That is wild.
Terrible. They also lost a fumble and threw an interception, but they had 2 interceptions of their own. Luke Nussmeyer versus Jackson Dart. Heck of a battle there. Very
Great battle.
defensive game until like the fourth quarter. Then those
Both those
offenses
quarterbacks
started.
will get drafted, I think.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Those guys are both looking great. Nussmeyer threw an absolute laser. Sorry, did I say Luke? It's Garrett, not
Garrett.
Luke. My bad there. Garrett threw an absolute laser in overtime to seal the deal with a touchdown after Ole Miss kicked a field goal on their first possession. Death Valley, another place that was just popping. It was amazing.
Another insane place to play. You can't hear anything after.
Just
the-
to
Yeah, Death Valley's wild, dude.
just to
Dude,
kind of
that-
highlight the.
you guys have to. You guys are young. You guys still have time.
Oh, I've been to Death Valley.
You been in Death Valley, HC?
Oh, yeah,
It's
it
electric,
was-
buddy.
It was great.
I seen an Appalachian State LSU game and it was electric.
Yeah, I mean, this was when
Right
LSU they weren't even that good. They were playing a Texas A&M team, like before they got really good, the top SEC team, and still, I mean, it was crazy. Every big play LSU made, I mean, that place just erupted. Just to highlight,
It's so loud. That's how it got its name.
yeah,
People called it Death Valley because it was making people's ears ring for hours
Yeah.
after the games.
I just want to highlight how good of a QB battle this was. Nussmeyer, dude, he was 22 of 51, so he was chucking it a lot. Still managed to get 337 yards, 3 touchdowns, did throw the 2 picks. Dart, 284 and a touchdown. Also picked up 27 on the ground. Well, yeah, great QB battle here.
No rushing attack from LSU though.
None.
Jeez,
Yeah, none. That's
Leading
typical
rusher,
Brian Kelly.
37 yards.
That's
12
Brian
carries.
Kelly. He don't care about no running.
No, he really does not.
Ole Miss again. I think we touched on with Ohio State. Ole Miss, LSU. Nobody wanted to win this game.
No.
LSU won. LSU went to overtime at home against Ole Miss. Ole Miss. Who's that? I have no idea. Jackson Dart. Who's that? Never heard of him.
I think Ole Miss might have been overhyped because we were like, oh, they're this historic offense, like all these
It's
points
Lane
they're
Kiffin.
scoring.
It's Lane.
Yeah, and like who are they playing?
Who are they?
Like FCS schools.
Yeah.
They looked
Yeah.
so balanced that we really
They
feel
did.
like people were really drinking the Kool-Aid.
Did you like-
Yeah. I mean, I bet on them.
No.
They were one of my losses over the week. I went 7-2 in college football or in the NFL, but college football on my best bets I went 4-2. They were one of my losses. But another good week for college football best bets for Jimmy
Yeah.
Covers.
7-2, you got to take that one.
You're
right
beating
there.
up on.
Or that was the NFL. I went 4-2 in college. That brings us to 13-6 on the year
Pretty good.
in best bets. 13-6, not bad.
And what are you guys feeling about these Mormons, man? BYU.
Oh, the
They're,
Mormons.
That's
they're
the
the
over.
13th ranked team in the country right now.
Bet the over.
They're
Pitt is undefeated too.
Pitt's
Pitt,
still undefeated.
Pitt is 6-0.
Okay.
Dude,
That
we got
shakes
some
up the
action,
ACC.
dude.
The Big
But
12
BYU,
being led
yeah.
by BYU is insane.
Amazing, man.
This
Going-
BYU
LaBelle Edwards Stadium is live too. Because they had a touchdown. We'll get into it. A top plays was a double pass against
Oh,
Arizona.
yeah. I see
Their
that.
offense is wild, dude.
Wild, dude. Wild. It's going to be, I mean, that's going to be a team where it's like, all right, like, who's in the Big 12 now? Utah, BYU. Now Texas is gone. Oklahoma's gone. I don't know.
who's the
Will
top
somebody get in to do they have a automatic bid if they win the Big 12 championship? Is there a Big 12 championship now? Because all those teams left. I don't know the answer to that.
They did replace them with a lot of teams because you got both the Arizona colleges.
I think is Colorado
Colorado-
State?
No, they're still in
CSU's
the
in the
Mountain West.
Mountain West still.
But Colorado's in there. Arizona
Colorado's
State.
in there.
Utah joined.
UCF's
still got
in there for some reason.
UCF, yeah. You still got Kansas State,
Kansas,
Oklahoma State,
Oklahoma State.
Kansas, yeah, Texas Tech. So there's going to be a Big 12 championship. I know that much. I think it's I think
That's
it's
this
Dallas, actually. I think it's in the Cowboys Stadium still.
Oh,
So
okay.
BYU, I mean, it
Yeah,
really could be.
BYU is 3-0 in the conference.
It really could be their conference lose. I mean, no other
Texas
teams-
Tech is undefeated also, and so is Iowa State.
I was gonna say like Kansas State is probably the biggest threat to BYU, and what did they do? Oh, they just blew them out like 38-9.
Yeah, they already
Earlier
got
this year,
they
so
already have
they're-
the advantage there.
Already took them out. Like who? I mean, with how BYU is playing, who's a threat to that team? Let's be real. I mean,
Who's leading the Big Ten right now?
was it the Ducks, right?
It's Oregon?
Indiana Hoosiers,
They
buddy.
got that.
Oh
big-
yeah.
They are
They're still
undefeated,
undefeated.
brother.
Watch out for the
And
Hoosiers.
they are at the top of the conference.
Shout
Shout out
Indiana.
Indiana Hoosiers, man. Followed by Oregon, Penn State, Illinois, Ohio State, Nebraska, Iowa, Michigan, Wisconsin, and then it's just a bunch of bad teams. Rutgers has been a fun team to bet on though. USC down there at the bottom, few losses, so that's going to happen. But they've played 3 respectable teams and lost. They all, nobody can say nothing about USC. That they played Penn State on the road. They played LSU on the road. They had a tough schedule.
LSU was a
USC.
neutral site game.
Was it a neutral
It
site
was
game?
in Vegas. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
that's right.
Vegas,
That's right.
yeah.
That's right. That's right.
But they beat LSU.
But yeah, the Big 12 though going to be interesting with BYU. They're at the top. I think they do have a
Iowa
Big 10
State.
Big 12 championship.
Iowa State.
But, like,
they're
I
the
don't-
19th
You
in the
can't
country.
give them one of the top 4 teams in the country if they just win the Big 12 championship with absolutely nobody in there. Because I don't want it to be a Florida State situation where we all know what's going to happen when you play a good school.
Yeah, I mean that's going to be tough for me.
Iowa State slides in there to the top 4, and they got to play, maybe Georgia. Come on.
I don't know.
I don't
Let's
wanna watch
check who they've played: West Virginia, Baylor, Houston, Arkansas State, Iowa, and North Dakota. So I mean, their
Yeah, I don't
toughest
know.
game being Iowa, just based on their defense.
Yeah,
But like, they're
Even
the
North
ranked
Dakota
9
for-
team in the country, Iowa State.
yeah.
So
That's kind of tough, boys. I don't know.
that is a tough one there.
Same thing
That's
with like the SC or not the SEC, the ACC, where it's whoever wins that championship. Is it whoever went like it's the winner of each big Power 4 conference gets an automatic top 4 bid? Is that what it is?
The big, from what they now, it's the college football playoff, and all of their enlightened wisdom. Will it shakes out the way that they say
Yeah.
preseason? Probably not. But from what they said when they announced the expansion of 12 teams, the core 4 basically is what they called them. You're going to get, the top. So like whoever wins the SEC, Big Ten, ACC, and what you're going to get. You're going to get, the top 4 or 5 teams. And then basically, if you basically just make the conference championship, you're probably going to be
Probably in it.
in it.
Yeah.
They were saying that 4 teams from the SEC, 4 teams from the Big Ten could take up 8 spots, and then the Power 5 are battling out for the Final 4. That's basically what the college football final people, essentially, in all of their wisdom, because the NCAA is never wrong, right?
They're always
right.
That's right.
Okay, and it's free money. I mean, I get it. Like going to 12 teams is going to be awesome. It's going to be great for content. You're going to get some super unique games. You're already seeing teams play each other that otherwise you wouldn't normally see,
Yeah.
which is absolutely awesome to watch. Ohio State, Oregon, electric game. You typically, Ole Miss, LSU, like they're going to play each other a lot. They're in the same conference. Now Oregon wild card in the Big Ten. Now it's going to be wild how it all shakes out. Until the final whistle, will definitely be here for it.
You're here for all the madness.
They should have had this bigger tournament bracket for. a while.
It's going to a
Because-
It's going to a Sweet 16 game, man.
I think it should.
It markets itself,
They
right?
Market them. Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
With the Sweet 16 and how popular it is in March Madness, you have the Sweet 16, first 8 teams get a bye, and then you have the lower 8 teams playing, and then they play the next 8. Dude, that's where it's going to be at. I think that's how you get a Cinderella national champion, because you get
Exactly.
you get one of these top teams on a bye week, and then they just think that they're going to roll out of bed and play a team that's hot. Because we've seen it in the NFL playoffs. It's not necessarily the best team. It's somebody who's playing the best football at the right time. And if you can get that in college football, maybe that's how you get a Boise State winning. And that, because who wants to stop that running? Nobody is
No.
stop. I don't care if their offensive linemen are a foot smaller than everybody on Georgia's defensive line. They're playing better football. And sometimes it doesn't matter. I've seen Boise State play an Oklahoma team
Remember?
undefeated.
Yeah,
Again,
The Tostito Festus Bowl.
Bingo.
They,
You know,
they put Boise
Adrian
State,
freaking Peterson was on that team.
they put Boise State in there because they're like, oh, they're going to get blown out. It was to prove a message. And these ballsy NFs
Ballsy.
go
Shout
score a
out
touchdown,
Ian Johnson,
You just gotta-
Statue of Liberty play to win it in overtime.
kick a field goal to tie the game. Screw that.
Screw that.
We're going
We're
for
going
two.
for it.
We're
Go
going
for
the
two.
win, and they get
And
it.
they get it. Statue
Let's
of
go.
Liberty play, dude. Oh,
Trace Rounds podcast. I agree. Let's go Boise State. Love the Broncos.
That's right.
Ashton Denty.
He got drug tested. You guys see that?
Like
Yeah.
6
Very
times or
positive
something.
Drug test.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yep.
he's my Heisman favorite. Like he's
Should be.
electrifying the
If
watch.
they make the playoff, he's got to be a Heisman favorite.
His
Gotta be, dude. Gotta be.
real quick, I just want to go over his stats from the Hawaii game, if you don't mind.
I do
So,
not mind. Rip it.
Jetty, 31 carries, 217, and 1 touchdown. And honestly, it was a weird game for Boise State. Hawaii was in it for a lot longer than they should have been, but that's,
Yeah.
time zone change and everything. It's always weird going to Hawaii. I mean, you're just so much further behind everyone. I mean, that game started at like 9:15 my time, and I'm tuning in to check it out. And I mean, it's still daylight out there in Hawaii. Where's that campus at? Honolulu, I believe.
Yeah, it's in Honolulu.
So it's always weird going over there. Boise got it together in the end. His game before that, where he only had like 13 carries for 186 and a touchdown. I think it was 2 touchdowns against Utah State. That brought his averages down on the season. Like that game where you rushed for 186 and 2 touchdowns, brought down all of your averages on the season,
That's
which is just
crazy.
nuts.
That's crazy.
So this man's 5'9" and is just putting up some insane stats. If we'll do just a stat check on the season
We
for
gotta do weekly updates.
for Mr. Genty. All right, so we're what? This is week 7
Yep.
of the college football season. Through 7 weeks, this man has 126 carries for 1,248 yards and 17 touchdowns. He's averaging 10 yards a carry still.
That is crazy, dude.
17 touchdowns
That
and
is
1,200
crazy.
yards in 7 weeks.
See, my thing with some of that is like, I know he's not playing anybody like super good, so I kind of take that with a grain of salt.
And they did play
Personally,
Oregon.
Yeah.
Well, no,
You know,
Oregon's defense
I don't
isn't
know.
that same.
It's like,
that's a
to me, like
respectable
stats,
school.
it's like the guy, when you just watch him play, like it doesn't matter about stats. I go off of the eye test mostly. This guy had 297 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like, yeah, but you can still stink and play good at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, I think both things can be true. Like Dylan Gabriel won the game, went off. Didn't play all that well. Really didn't. So it's like, I don't know.
It's like receivers
And then you-
running butt-ass naked
Right.
through the Ohio State secondary. Like
And I
I
missed
mentioned,
him.
Denzel Burke was just getting.
What are we exactly? So it's like, and then but you watch Genty run the football. You close your eyes, open them, and you get Flash Gordon in your head. You're like, oh, this is the guy.
Look,
It's just what it is. Like, it doesn't matter who they have on their team, who they're playing on, against, where they're at. Doesn't matter. This dude is a problem when he's running the football.
here's the thing, dude. I don't care how bad the defense is. I mean, this guy. When you get 6 guys around the ball carrier, typically he goes down.
Down.
I don't care how bad the defense is.
Bingo.
Mr. Genty,
No.
he's had multiple.
It's a mismatch for the defense.
He's had multiple touchdown runs where he's just
Shedding guys.
He's broken like
Yeah.
6 tackles and then just
Shades of Barry Sanders.
all that power to break those tackles and then like that the
On a
speed
dime, yeah.
to burn
Top
the
speed in 5
defenders
yards.
down the field.
Yeah.
And he's 5'9" or like 5'10". He's a
He's like,
short running back,
Yeah, small guy.
and he's with the power and like that short stature, crazy. And I love
Strange.
he just stands in the backfield like Michael Myers.
Yeah,
But
he doesn't even get.
he does not get in a
stance or
running back
anything, he just
stance.
stands up straight.
He's standing there just straight, staring you down. He's a terrifying
He's like
spec.
he looks over the O line
Human, yeah.
before he gets a handoff and just like surveys. He's like, all right,
Yeah.
where my lane's gonna be?
Yeah.
I'm assessing the defense. He's like reading it like a quarterback.
Really?
Which poor sap am I going to
Yeah.
stiff
Yeah,
arm into
stiff
the
arm
ground?
this time.
Who
Yeah.
am I gonna murder this
Uh,
play?
Yeah.
Before we go on break, fellas, I just want to pitch out a crazy idea because I'm looking at the top 25 here. Army and Navy are both ranked 6-0
Yeah.
Army, 5-0 Navy.
Let's go Navy.
Yo, how would it be something if we could see a service academy make a run into the postseason? I mean, I don't know how
I
that would
hope.
go.
I hope not. I hope not.
No, we're
Oh,
Pretty crazy.
we are
I'm a
good-
Navy veteran. I do not want to watch Navy play Alabama in some like round of 4. You know what I mean? Like the opening game or whatever. Because Alabama's probably not going to win the SEC championship. So I don't know.
I think here on Military Broadcast Radio, we want to see our
MBR.
service academies.
Go Army,
Oh,
Tracer
We
Rhodes.
want to see them
No.
succeed.
Dude.
Tracer Rhodes. Let's go Navy.
Army's
baby.
scoring his points. Dude. Army is scoring.
It's
Ain't
Army.
really
44
Marines yet.
points on UAB. It is UAB, but
Yeah.
Army's cooking.
Army's cooking.
They
They're
are
cooking
cooking.
something. They're cooking grenades. All
Coming
right.
out
They're
with
doing
wing
something.
T,
Wing T, brother.
coming out
Yeah.
nuts
Dude,
and
do you
bolts
guys
formation.
watch some of these NFL teams running that triple option, that Army and Navy
Wing T, yeah.
spinner option, where they're getting guys running mismatches
Yeah.
and they're getting those guards pulling? Dude, Green Bay ran it a couple times
I
against
did, yeah. Green Bay.
Arizona, and I was like, dude, this is a 1989 Texas split option
I've seen this.
running game with a play action offense. It's nuts, dude.
I think the Ravens have come out. and
Ravens
done
have
it a
done
few
that?
times. I think
Yeah.
the Bills did it too.
I know
they did it last season.
McVay and Shanahan have been doing it for a few years
Yeah.
now.
The Niners, the Rams. they
Niners
got
and Rams have been running that
that.
split
They
option
don't do
running
it a
style.
ton, but it's like they
When they need
They
like a
bust
3rd and
out
4, they'll bust out some spinner
short
action.
yardage, like third
And
down.
it's not even fair, dude. It's not
Wild.
fair. It's kind of wild, yeah. Some other games that were really awesome to watch. I watched this Washington State Fresno State game
Oh,
early on.
wild.
Dude, the game was wild, man. The Fresno State team, dude, they were spunky. They lost 25-17. But, dude, awesome game. And I bet on Washington State on that game. It was so much fun. It was just a good game in terms of, like, hitting, explosive plays, turnovers, teams driving. It was just an entertaining, fun game. Alabama, South Carolina.
Dude,
I was stationed in Charleston Naval Station. I was going for the boys hard.
they should.
The Gamecocks. Shout out Gamecocks.
They should.
Williams Bryce Field. The game was in Alabama. The boys were buzzing. They almost pulled off the upset. They
Boys.
did not.
Illinois, Purdue. What the heck was that game?
Dude,
That one was
Chaos.
Purdue was getting blown out. I actually talked to my mom. I
They were
don't know if
down
my mom's watching.
24-3 at halftime.
24-3, dude.
And
49 to 55.
And then they go to overtime, dude. That game was insane.
they went for the win too. They got sacked on the 2-point conversion. They almost went into Illinois and beat them. Luke Altmaier, he still had a career game out there too. But then
Real quick,
those Boilermakers.
Penn State dogfight with USC. USC held up tough on the road
Well-
at Penn State. They played really good. Miller Moss.
I just want to ask what happened because USC, they were the 11th ranked team last week.
Yeah.
Then they got upset by who was it? Like Minnesota,
Yeah.
I
They got
believe.
beat on Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Yeah, and then they just dropped out of the top 25 completely.
Dang.
So I don't know if that was factored into people overlooking USC and expecting this to not be as close, but that was a
Very
top
close game.
25 school just a week
Top.
ago.
Absolutely. And they still should be in the top 25. I know they have a few losses. But their record, man, their schedule's been tough.
Yeah, they really are proving themselves.
3-3,
It's a tough Big
but-
Ten opening.
Yeah, I mean, you had to play Michigan, you played USC, Penn State, man. Like it's just been tough.
College football next week. We're going to preview some of the games, and then we'll get into our NFL pick'em. Some more good games next week.
Nebraska, Indiana.
Yeah, there's just
Ooh.
they're Michigan,
Illinois.
Illinois is going to be
Texas.
intriguing game.
Tennessee.
Exactly.
Georgia.
Yeah, dude.
Woo!
You know, Alabama,
Texas,
Tennessee in
Deuces.
Knoxville. That game's going to be absolutely insane. Colorado, Arizona. Colorado kind of stinks. LSU versus Arkansas. Much more coming at you. Georgia, Texas. Till the final whistle. Military Broadcast Radio. Hang out with us, and we'll be right back with much, much more. Kentucky, Florida is always a crazy game.
The Tennessee Georgia or Florida was wild.
Largest cocktail party. That's what the little nickname for that shit. For that thing was.
Yeah. Army and Navy leading the AAC.
Oh, dude, that Commander's Cup, brother. We gotta have a thing. We gotta have a watch party at,
We gotta
at
talk
Victor.
Victor into it.
Come on,
We
like what
gotta
are we
talk
doing?
to you, too.
Yeah, gotta get some wings, get some food going. Couple soda pops. Let's get HG shitface. Let's do some keg stands, dude.
I had an idea a while ago to do a case race. All our shows are in the morning, so I mean, it's no use getting drunk as fuck at 8 a.m. But we could think of something.
Yeah, like I usually have to like go do shit after we get it off the show.
Yeah, like, drink a whole case of beer and then you're like, later, guys.
Yeah.
Joel, are they
Fucking
still?
stumble
Is
out.
I did a-
Brendan Ball
I-
still going on
I
Friday
did a
nights?
podcast with a buddy. We
Yeah.
called it Sessions, and we just like smoked like those infused
They're
joints
just
on the thing, and we just like riffed.
they're
And
just
we did-
very
it was like
distant, dude.
we did like a 5-hour long show, just like watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like
Like, you don't
stoned,
really get
stoned
talk,
as
you know?
fuck, dude.
That's if I like show up in their
Stoned
studio on
shits.
Friday, they don't really reach out or anything. So I have to constantly like reach out because I told them that their logo placement and their MBR closer, they need to do a better job at hitting that because they're not doing that.
Interesting.
Because right now I'm trying to figure out why the fuck their website sucks.
Do you want to make a friendly bet, HG, for this Thursday night game? Broncos Saints. If the Broncos win, you know how people are getting those Nas Reed tattoos? I'll get Bo Nix. And if the Saints win, you got to get Spencer Rattler.
If the Saints win, Joel has to shave his head. Oh wait,
You want to do a bet like that?
Maybe not getting a tattoo.
Because it'd be like a $20 tattoo. I'm trying to think.
I wouldn't do the tattoo.
No, they do that. Joel shave his scrotum hair.
Joel shaking
Well, I mean,
his
we
head.
could do like something like loser. You know, whoever's team loses has to shave their head.
Ugh.
I'm not doing that.
Huh?
I'm not doing that.
Station.
I'll get a tattoo. I'm not shaving my head.
Yeah, Tim Tebow tattoo right on your ass.
Tim Tebow portrait.
Welcome back. You are looking live at Military Broadcast Radio till the final whistle. Jimmy covers. To my right is HG. To my left is Caveman. Caveman might shave his head if
That's
If the
we're
Saint-
figuring out the
if
bet.
the Saints
So-
lose to the Broncos
All right,
next
get
Thursday
this,
Night
everyone
Football.
listening at home. So obviously, I'm a Broncos fan. Caveman's a Saints fan. We got a big matchup
Call
coming
or
up between our
text.
teams
Call or text, boys.
Thursday night. Want to make a friendly little bet. Whoever's team loses has got to do something embarrassing for a week, month, whatever. Outside of tattoos or shaving their heads. If anybody's got some good ideas, let us know. We'll figure something out and we'll give you the details
Yeah.
of what the bet's going to be on the Wednesday
Caveman,
show.
Saints fan, HG, Broncos fan. I
Yeah.
say, I don't know, boys. Loser has to come in with their face painted.
Honestly,
How about the face paint? I mean, the face paint's a good one. That's kind of like a fantasy football. Like if you lose like your fantasy football league, you gotta like paint
it's
your
got
face
to
or
be.
something.
It's got to be for like a month of episodes, for at
No.
least a month or like a week.
Just like one, like till the next Monday Football Frenzy on Mondays, till the final whistle on Military Broadcast Radio.
That might be a good idea. We'll,
Yeah,
we're
call
gonna
in
keep workshopping it.
720-619-0627. We'll let you know on our TikTok. I'm sure
Nice.
we're going to have Caveman giving his reaction videos.
The next time the
Get-
Saints,
we're
lose,
gonna-
man,
we're
check
actually
out
gonna-
the TikTok.
Caveman is in shambles. The Saints are tough. We're going to get to our pick, and we're going to get to more of our NFL talk because that's what we're here for on Monday Football Frenzy. Caveman in shambles, part 2.
This actually sounds pretty sad too. It's like kind of disappointed that we were getting rolled.
Shaheed to the moon. I love it, caveman.
And Kamara. We
I'm
can't
sorry.
forget
Don't
about
forget
Kamara.
about Kamara. Man, that
was one of the-
in fantasy this week.
Yeah, that was
did.
one of the bets that we made. We made a first quarter Buccaneers bet. The Buccaneers minus a half a point after the first quarter, only the first quarter. Isolating that first quarter because it's Spencer Rattler's first start. It was plus 100 for the
Hey.
Buccaneers, minus a half point. So they just have to win the quarter by 1 point or more. Plus 100, Jimmy covers best bet of that day. Hit that one.
They were up like 17 of that.
Yeah, and then I didn't want to touch it
Pretty
because I knew the
comfortable.
game. And the game, I was watching it at Buffalo Wild Wings. Me and my girlfriend, dude, that game spiraled into
Crazy.
utter chaos. I texted the group.
It
I was like,
chaos.
boys, like the Saints are back. Like we're winning the game. I'm like, this is crazy. And then like the second half started, and it was just like immortality. Like these dudes like just turned into, superheroes, and everybody just started scoring points. Buccaneers did run away with that game kind of late, but
Oh,
I mean, it was like, dude, that game was nuts. Bet the
yeah. It was
over.
pretty wild.
I'm sorry, 47% of the people out there on covers.com bet on the under in that game,
Ooh.
and that was
Man.
awful bet. That is
Yeah.
not something Jimmy Covers gave out on his best bet breakdowns. Definitely.
Yeah.
With that Buccaneers offense, there's no way that goes on.
Dude, they had
They're
almost
pretty
600
electric.
total yards in that game.
Yeah.
I
Read
mean,
the
just-
tea leaves, people. Like, there's no way this game goes on.
They got over 200 rushing yards. I'll say it again. Over 200 rushing yards with 3 backups.
277 rushing yards to beat it out.
Seven-
Almost 300. rushing
17 nothing after the first quarter, then 27 unanswered points by the New Orleans Saints to take
was
the
wild.
lead going into halftime, caveman.
yards. And then we got shut out.
You let your rookie QB
Yeah.
on his first start get sacked 5
That's
times
crazy.
as well. Man.
Shut out in the second half after
Shut out.
scoring 27 in a quarter.
And once
So
Oh
we only
my
scored.
God.
We only scored in the second quarter.
God.
We only scored in the second.
Literally only scored in the second quarter.
The only
You
time
literally only scored in the second quarter.
And the Buccaneers came out after halftime.
That
They're like,
is
let's just
insane.
play like we were playing in the first quarter.
That
These guys
is
suck.
crazy,
And
dude.
they continue to
That
roll
is
us.
crazy, bro. That's crazy, bro.
just
That's just bad football, bro.
yeah, I mean,
Got a nice clip of-
51-27,
Yeah.
bud.
They scored with like a minute
Oh,
left
no.
in like 2 plays. When there was like a minute left, we punted and they scored in like 2 plays with like a minute 55 left. They
nuts.
drove down the field. They were in the red zone with a minute 40 seconds left, and then they scored. Got the 51 points. That's when I was messaging the chat. I was like, "How do we get 3 picks and we allow almost 50 points and like 600 yards of offense when we get 3 picks?"
Right.
Like, what
I saw
the
that
hell?
pick in the first half. I was like, buddy, like, we got a shot.
Our drives
Here we
just kept
go.
stalling out.
Yeah, we couldn't really finish a drive there.
Spencer Rattler, you're high on him? How do you think he looked?
That was
Yeah,
a
he played
pretty good
all right.
start.
He's a rookie. He was a rookie start in his first game.
Took all the other guys
I mean,
however many.
scored
weeks with
27
the
points in a
passing
quarter.
touchdown.
Most teams, buddy, you score 27 in one quarter, you're gonna
Go
You got-
in, yeah.
you got a shot to at least have it. You know, you're not gonna get blown out 51-27. It'll probably be like a 30-27 ball game. You maybe lose by 2 or 3, whatever. You know, but you're gonna give yourself a chance to win.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
but not there. It's a classic example. If you didn't give your rookie quarterback any help,
Any help?
I mean, you're
I
making him
miss Teron Armstead, man.
you're making him
Blocked
drop
really
back
good.
40 times. I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm a strong proponent of like
Yeah.
the less your rookie quarterback can throw in their first start, the better you're
The
going to
better.
do. You know, just
Yeah.
take a little pressure off of him.
Yeah.
You know, because then it's easy for them to get rattled.
I-
He got sacked 5 times.
I am in the gunslinger mentality where it's like, just chuck it.
Chuck
Like,
it.
you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like,
straight up.
but I'm also in the camp of they shouldn't be playing Spencer Rattler at all. Like, you know what I mean? I know it's unfortunate that
That's kind of
Derek Carr goes down,
Option.
you know, but it's like, dude, like, you know, Taysom Hill's banged up, and I know he can play that little quarterback, you know, that duo player for you. I don't know, man. Like, I just think there's just so much value. And
Well, I wonder what happened
Sitting
to
in
Jake
West Ham.
Hayner too. Why did
yeah,
they-
he was their
I thought
backup.
he was gonna play.
They
I
brought
thought it was
Hayner in
gonna
to finish off the Kansas City game, and then
Yeah.
they were like, "We're going Rattler." Hayner, he was like a rookie quarterback last
Last
year.
year.
wasn't
He was
Yeah,
a
they
rookie.
And
got-
he's technically on the depth chart. He was their backup
So I'm like, well,
because he came in for Derek Carr
On
the week
Monday,
prior.
yeah.
yeah, I'm not sure what happened. Why they were like, "Oh, let's draft another rookie to be a backup," and what's like? Did we not? Or did you draft Hayner to be a backup, and you're interested in making Rattler the starter? I have no idea what's going on down there in New Orleans.
Yeah,
It doesn't
yeah.
seem like
I don't
they
think
do either.
Caveman does either.
It's the most injury-prone team in the league. I swear to God, man.
Dude,
Kamara's always battling hip and lower limb injuries. Olave got ear hold and they scoop and
Yeah,
scored
scoop
that.
and score
Like,
that.
What?
How did that not get?
58 yards.
Yeah.
Thanks, Antoine Winfield.
Yeah,
Killed my favorite receiver, and then you scoop and
that
scored it.
dude's
to
a
the crib.
beast, dude.
he's
I thought that was
nasty, bro.
targeting.
I mean,
I thought it was targeting.
Also, hey,
It kind of looked like it.
Sean Tucker, man,
Yeah.
who is this guy? Where did he come from, bro?
He was wearing number 44, just running
40
all over.
44 for the Buccaneers, dude.
Yeah.
192 yards on the ground, 2
What?
touchdowns.
Yeah.
Bro also hauled in 3 receptions for 56 yards in a touch.
Yeah.
We didn't get him on our fantasy football team
No.
builder exercise. What are we doing?
I didn't even know he was on the Bucks until Rashad
Right,
White goes.
right.
It's-
Yeah,
But don't worry, Caveman, because Caveman's sad, but so is HG, because HG,
Oh, yeah.
your Denver Broncos, buddy, losing to the LA Chargers at
Except
home,
Sean.
I'm not.
23-16. How are we feeling?
Look, I'm not like too bummed out about this one. Here's what happened. Surtain got injured on the very first drive that the Chargers had on offense, and that really kind of
Takes
it
your
took
game
the
time.
Broncos
Way
way too long to adjust. It was just there. Ishan Patel off of YouTube. Thanks for commenting in. It just took us a long time to adjust, right? And we ran a lot more zone than we're used to running. And
Hi, Patel.
Herbert had the benefit of Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater being back. So we couldn't blitz a bunch, and we're playing zone, but they've got those really good.
We got a question from Mr. Patel.
Yeah.
HG, I have to cut you off. I'm
Go
sorry.
for it.
I'm down 5 points in PPR with Brees left, and my opponent has Jets defense. Do I have a chance of winning? You 100% have a chance of
I
winning,
think
my
so.
friend.
You should
Because
win
I
that.
think
You should.
you should definitely win that, because I think that the Bills have a good enough offense to score a couple touchdowns on the Jets defense. And I
Exactly.
definitely think if you actually touched on it, Patel, that was going to lead me into when we did the Monday, for the game tonight. That's my best bet. I have the New York Jets and pick them. I think the only way that the Jets win is if they use Brees Hall effectively. I think the best defense for the New York Jets right now, for this game in particular on Monday night, is to run the freaking ball and keep Josh Allen off the
Keep him off
freaking
the
field.
field.
And
He's
Aaron
gonna
Rodgers
light
has to
you
see
up.
that. He's done it his way. I'm not going to go on my rant. I'm going to save that for the later for the Monday night game tonight. But Patel,
Yeah.
buddy, Patel, thanks for commenting on the show.
Appreciate you for listening.
First time commenter, appreciate you, bud. You definitely have a big shot, and if you do win, comment on the show on Wednesday on 8 a.m. in the morning, 8 to 10. Next question. I've been super unlucky in that league. I have most points scored by over 80 plus, but I'm 2 and 3 and 6. It'll all turn back.
Yeah.
I've seen that before, man. That's just fantasy football, dude.
That really is.
Matchups and when you play certain players, brother, it's just a crapshoot. You just don't know when it's going to come or how you're going to win or how you're going to lose. I think if you have a good enough team to score that many points, I think your luck is going to turn around over the course of 17 games. Or you will only get 12 until the playoffs start. You're 2 and 3. It's still early. You only need to get to 6-7 wins, and you're going to be in the playoffs. Just give yourself a chance.
I'm not sure how many teams make it in your league or how many teams are in it, but even if you come in as a lower seed, if your team's scoring the way it is, you'll be a force to be reckoned with in the playoffs. And it's
You'll be scary.
1-0 every week. They
That's
say
it.
that in football. It's the same thing. in
100%
fantasy,
HG. Yep, nailed it.
man. Just keep doing what you're doing. You've been getting bad matchups. That happens. I've been doing fantasy for a long time. How many times that's happened to me, I can't even count. Just keep at it. Keep doing your good manager stuff. You'll be a force. To be
Yeah, you'll
reckoned
be
with
for-
in the
yeah.
playoffs. All right.
The Denver. Hold on, HG. Hold on. Guess what I just noticed?
What's that?
New Orleans Saints scored 27 points in the second quarter only.
Uh-huh.
The Denver Broncos scored 16 points in only the fourth quarter. The Saints and the Broncos scored all their points in just one quarter.
Yeah.
That is insanity to me. Not just one team doing it is already crazy. You rarely see that.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to score all the points in the world in one quarter and not score again. Okay, fine. But then to see another team do the exact same thing, and both teams lost, where, I don't know, like the Broncos have been playing decent enough defense where 16
Yeah.
points, I could get you a win with the way that the Denver Broncos deep, but obviously, like
They
you
got
mentioned,
dominated.
Pat
time of
Surtain
possession.
going down, that's always tough.
Well,
He's
our
the best
offense was just playing really bad the whole game. Bo Nix had 27
I
passing
was
yards
gonna say
going
that.
into the
Yeah,
fourth
it's
quarter.
tough.
60 total
I know-
yards.
I think
That's brutal.
The Chargers, they just sort of dropped back into this like soft shell defense where they didn't want to
Yeah.
give up too much down the field, and that's when they got going. I mean, we had a chance there at the end. I mean, it wasn't a great one, but recovering onside kick down 6, there was a chance. That's why I'm not beating us up too much about it. Surtain gets hurt, and it just took a long time for the defense to adjust and really limit the Chargers. We weren't blitzing as much because we were scared to leave our DBs in one-on-one coverage, and so that let our pass rush. It's good, but when Rashawn Slater and Joel Alt are healthy, it's not good enough to beat that with
Right.
just a 4-man
Good point.
blitz.
Yeah.
Great point.
We still had more sacks than the Chargers, but that was when we just started. Joseph he got aggressive again and started sending more guys, and to stop the run, and to get not let Herbert sit back there because for a lot of that game Herbert just had very clean pockets,
Yeah.
a lot of time to dissect the zone. I know his receivers aren't that great, but
If you
He's
can
still-
throw it to
Yeah,
a
he
guy
really
that's
doesn't
open,
have anything.
he's in the NFL. He's probably going to catch it.
so I will say
Only
just-
237 passing yards, 21 to 34, and a touchdown for Justin Herbert. I don't know.
Yeah, it wasn't
It's
an
not all
insane
that
stack today. They ran the ball really well. I mean, 37 minutes.
No
for
wide receiver
possession.
for the Chargers had more than 44 yards receiving.
Yeah.
It's pretty good by the Broncos defense, honestly.
Even without their number one guy, too.
yeah.
Yeah. They just really struggled to stop the run. And that was, I think, what killed them. I thought the reason they would have an advantage in this is because they could leave their guys, this is with Surtain being healthy, they could leave their guys out there on the island. And, McMillan, Surtain, and Moss could lock down Quentin Johnson, Ladd McConkey, and Josh Palmer. They'd be able to handle that while we sent in, a lot of pressure. But you can't account for injuries, and
Nope. And
it was bad coaching.
Yeah.
Way too long to adjust, and then
Yeah.
it was too little, too late when we made the right adjustments and stuff started to get going. And even with that, figuring out the right adjustments and getting it going late, we still had a chance. It was you had to recover an onside kick, and you went through your timeouts real early, so you didn't have those. So it was just
One thing I want to see from the Broncos going forward is when they were up tempo and playing pretty quick there late, they had a lot of success. Obviously it is because they dropped their coverage back a little bit. You have a different look on the field, so you're able to make different things work that wouldn't before. But early in the game, they had a really successful run play that was really up tempo, but the ball got fumbled and the Chargers recovered it. And another play on Bo Nix interception, the guy who's pretty much has a step on the defender, Bo Nix overthrew it for the tip pick, but it was an up tempo play that would have went for a pretty decent chunk of yards. So if you guys can, time of possession is big, but if your offense is quick enough and can just score with that defense, man, you guys can really blow some teams out.
And
Seriously.
our rushing attack got awful. Bo Nix was our
Yeah,
leading
it's-
rusher again. This is the 4th time he's done it this season. So here's something I want to see from us. Can we let's get Bo Nix a little more involved in the running game with some design runs?
I did bet on that was one of my losses, buddy. I picked Bo Nix to have a rushing touchdown. I thought that he was gonna. I went 7-2 in my NFL games. He was one of the game. I lost the Commanders game. I bet on the Commanders money line. The Baltimore Ravens won. But I also bet on Bo Nix for a touchdown prop. Hit on all other 3 of the other ones in the 2 games that I bet on to go 7-2. But one of my losses was Bo Nix. Anytime touchdown plus 320. And I was like, man, this guy's going to have to, if he's going to do anything, he's going to have to use his legs in this game, I thought. And I had it handicapped the right way from what you've just been saying, where I'm like, dude, if you can just get Bo Nix as your extra guy, unaccounted for in the box, throws the defense off, I saw him scoring a touchdown with his legs, but
I
he
think
didn't do it.
we should let him use his legs a little bit. That might help our running game open up. Also, Javonte, love you, but
He gone.
It's
time
time.
to see those
Yeah,
other
it's-
guys there.
He gone.
It's
I
time
want-
to see the other
I want Audric Estime starting. All right, I want he got 2 carries.
Shout
this
out
game.
Notre
Yeah.
Shout out
Dame.
Notre
What?
Dame.
Shout out
You
Notre Dame.
wasted the draft pick on him, dude. Our running game's been.
Picked him
terrible.
high. Picked him pretty high.
It was like a 4th-round pick, yeah.
You got to play him.
I mean, our running game's been terrible. Let's let this rookie back. Let's see what he can give us. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
Javante just hasn't been the same after the ACL injury. I like Julian McLaughlin. He's more of a pass catcher, though. He's not really like a guy that you can run in between the tackles. Let's estimate. Let's see what he can do. See if we can generate something. Use Jaleel and Bo Nix and some read option, that type of stuff. Get a run game going. Because once we were able to, the Chargers dropped back and we started to run the ball. That helped Nix. He was better passing. I really like what I'm seeing with Bo with his escapability from pressure.
You got some pretty good pocket presence
Yeah.
there.
It can't take us 4 quarters to finally get sustained offense going. We're not going to win games like that. I'm not terribly upset about the loss. It was just kind of bad coaching, and which is frustrating because we gave up a lot of capital to get Sean Payton.
Very
I
true.
think that's a perfect segue to lead into the Week 6 pick'em. Who did we have? Who won the week, Caveman? Who's at the top of the leaderboard? Is
That's
Kyle
so
going to
good,
comment
so.
and talk crap? That
He's
he's
still
at the top
He's-
of the
He's
leaderboard.
still in first.
The season standings,
a-
Kyle's
it's a-
still first.
It's a
We got to
long
get
season.
Carter.
Shout out
I'm
Carter.
12-1 this
12
week.
and 1, Carter.
Absolutely
Good job, buddy.
Baller.
Yeah, good
Yeah, he
job.
was killing it this week.
I think the only game he lost was the dang Bronco game.
Yeah, I think so.
He picked the Broncos.
Let's see.
That was his
Frickin'
only
Broncos.
loss.
Picks out.
Frickin' Broncos, man.
Overlord Maverick with the 11-2 record.
Yeah,
Number
that's
of
good.
guys were 10-3, including yours truly, Jimmy Covers.
Yeah, Carter only got the Broncos game.
Yeah, we had a good week in NFL betting and on pick'em this
Rogers
week.
Revenge, Kyle Kunis, 10-3.
Yeah.
So those two guys killing it. Kyle's still in the lead. I know nothing, 10-3.
Yeah.
I was 9-4 along with Star and the Chiefs, and then ODB and Caveman 7-6. So everybody with the winning record so far. Number
Pretty
of
good.
people on the Jets tonight and Bills, so it'll be interesting to see how that
Yeah,
shakes up.
pretty good.
I also, just on the season-wide standings, we gotta give some appreciation to how well these two guys are doing. Carter, late joined to the league, but he is 32-11.
32-11,
Killing it.
killing
They're
it.
sneaking up in the top.
I know nothing. 39-20 on the season, so another late joiner, but really good on the year. So you guys,
Thanks for playing in our pick'em league, guys.
thanks for joining,
Yeah, thanks for
and
joining.
you're kind of making us look bad, so you need to stop doing
Week
doing
6,
so well.
wild week. San Fran on Thursday beat Seattle. Tampa Bay beat New Orleans. Jacksonville and Chicago in England. What are we doing, Duval County? That was one of my losses on pick'em. Guys,
One of mine as well.
Doug Peterson and Trevor Lawrence. I mean,
What
just
is happening?
absolutely lifeless in England when they have played there more times than any other NFL team,
And anyone.
and they're rumored to move there.
Basically a home game for them. Like,
Yep.
The Jags are London.
Chicago goes in and rolls the Jaguars
Whoop
35-16.
them,
Houston takes down the New England Patriots. We all pretty much saw that coming. Indianapolis took down Tennessee 20-17 in a weird game. Baltimore, Washington, really good game, 30-23. Baltimore covered that spread and the over hit 50.5. Cleveland and Philadelphia, brutal game. Philadelphia fans hate Nick Sirianni. They want to stuff him in a cheesesteak, get him out of there.
Oh.
They barely win against Cleveland.
And then
And
he's talking crap to fans.
The
at
fans, he's
stand.
chirping the fans, and I'm like, buddy, like the fans are right. You suck.
You barely
You
beat
stink.
Barely.
the god awful Browns.
They
at
just-
home.
just-
Oh, man.
Jalen Hurts is just, I don't know, man. Like, I don't see. I don't know.
The Browns
I don't
didn't
wanna
have
say
an
nothing
offensive
about that.
touchdown, and you beat them by 4
They're
points.
0-28 on third down
Yeah.
conversions with Deshaun
The
Watson.
last 28. third
What are we
downs,
doing?
They're 0 for 28 with Deshaun Watson on the field. And they lost by only 4 points.
Yeah,
Done.
dog.
That's
Arizona, Green Bay. Shout out Green Bay Packers. They took care of business. Jaden Reed,
They did.
Romeo Dobbs all scored touchdowns. They win 34-13. Dude, we only had the ball 3 times in the second half, and we had 27 minutes of time of possession. We ran it all over the Arizona Cardinals.
The Cardinals. were
Other
just
than a
helpless.
weird interception, a guy fell down, ball went right to the Cardinals player, and they were able to score off the short field, which in our defense just got to turn over the play before, or the possession before.
Jimmy,
Other than that, that's like their only points that they had.
I want to say I'm so excited for these Lions Packers games.
Yeah, but
They're gonna be cinema.
So,
yeah, but
This is going to be absolute cinema.
it's gonna be
speaking of the
Martin
Lions,
Scorsese-
they win 47-9 over the Dallas Cowboys in Jerry World.
On Jerry
They
Jones'
won the
birthday.
game, but they might have lost the war, boys.
Oh
Aiden
yeah.
Hutchinson, unfortunately, goes down with a gruesome leg injury. They didn't even show the replay on TV. They carted him off. He goes into emergency surgery. I hope it's not one of those Alex Smith type fib
It's
injuries where it's kind of
It
career,
was really bad though, man.
changing for that guy. He's on a trajectory to.
it is.
Lots
He
of
was
prayers
leading-
for-
dangerous.
Leading
If
the
you break
Defensive
that
Player of the
bone,
Year award.
Yeah.
It's so dangerous because if you break that bone in your leg, there's a major artery in that leg. If
Yeah.
you break that bone, it breaks
Good
the
point,
artery.
caveman.
You're bleeding out.
So he
So
goes
lots
into
of
emergency
prayers.
surgery. Luckily, he was in Dallas, and it wasn't like in Oklahoma or something. Pittsburgh beats Vegas in a lifeless game. I mean, they scored 32 points, but that game was just dog with fleas. Atlanta, Carolina. Atlanta wins 38-20. I nuked it, and I picked the Carolina Panthers, thinking that they could upset
Yeah.
at home.
All
I'm
of
an
us
idiot.
did. We're the only people that picked the Panthers.
I needed it because I knew Carter's hot. And I'm like, this game isn't going to be the reason why I lose. Pick him this week, so I'm just going to pick it to see if Carter.
I thought it could
chaos
really
happen.
easily be attracting for the Falcons.
100%.
You're riding high after you just shredded it on Thursday night. The Panthers, you think they're a pushover team. You come into this game sleepwalking, and they catch one on you. But credit to the Falcons. They did not come in sleepwalking, and they did what
Sunday
they should
night.
have done and spanked the Panthers.
Sunday Night Football, Cincinnati beat the Giants 17-7. Snooze fest.
Man.
That's going to lead us to Monday Night Football, boys.
Oh yeah.
Buffalo and the Jets. Jimmy covers. Best bet. New York Jets. Plus 100. We're going back to the well. We chose them once. They are one of our losers when they lost on Monday Night Football. We're going back to the well. New York Jets. This goes to Patel's comment. Brees Hall. Aaron Rodgers. What are we doing? What are we doing, Aaron Rodgers? Okay, you got your head coach fired. Half the team. They didn't want to get rid of Saleh. The players didn't want to get rid of Saleh. Aaron
I
Rodgers
like
wanted
it.
to get rid of Saleh.
Aaron
Yeah.
Rodgers.
Woody Johnson overreacted. If they win this game, they could be leading the division. They fired their head coach for what reason?
For what?
Right?
When it's up for
You got to
grabs,
keep
too.
Josh Allen off the field. You got to control the clock. When Aaron Rodgers was the best in Green Bay, he controlled the football. It's too many 3-and-outs. It's too many look at me 2x2 sets. For those listening, 2x2 set is 2 wide receivers to the right, 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 running back in the backfield. And you try
Just
to
as basic
protect
as
it
possible, pretty
as
much.
basic as you're going to get, but you run off of all of your plays off of that one formation. So you have a lot of looks off of one thing. So you can do a multiple combo variation of plays off of just one look, and that kind of can psychologically, like the defense, like, oh, what are they going to do?
Mess with them.
It'll mess with them a little bit. It's gamesmanship. But in 2010 football, 2024 football, defenses have evolved. They're just going to play 2 shell, keep the ball in front of them. They're not going to let you get explosive plays. Aaron Rodgers lost a little bit of arm strength, not really throwing the ball all that deep anymore, not throwing the ball in the middle of the field. You have to utilize your best player. Their best player on offense is Brees Hall. That's just what it is.
Hands down.
Easy.
It's just what it is,
And I-
HG.
Also, I really like Braylon Allen. You got the power. Allen brings the power. Hall
Yeah,
brings the
good
speed.
deal. Good
Can
deal.
we get these guys to get between the two of them 30 touches? And I think you can sustain a lot on offense. I mean, Allen on short yardage to power it through. You can use Hall to spread the defense out. He's a great pass catcher. Get him in space. Like the last game in London against the Vikes, he had Brees Hall touched the football 9 times.
9 times.
What?
9
What
times.
do you think?
9
Plus
times?
100 on the money line for the New York Jets. Guys, I'm sorry.
He's always bringing
sorry.
the camera over to
I'm
himself.
sorry. Aaron Rodgers, if you're listening, till the final whistle, Military Broadcast Radio. I don't want you to win. It's not that the Jets should win. This is a must-win game for Aaron Rodgers and the
It
New York
is.
Jets.
It really
Monday Night Football against the only team that plays in New York, the Buffalo Bills. We need Aaron Rodgers to win this game. I picked him in pick 'em pool. Carter's hot on our heels. He picked the Buffalo Bills. We can't have it.
Who's
Aaron-
Kyle on?
Aaron Rodgers, if you're listening to me,
Bills.
Aaron, look deep into the camera, buddy. It's just me and you. I need you to win. Jimmy covers.
Coming from
New
a
York
former
Jets.
fan of your game.
Plus 100. I was your owner for 15 years of your career, buddy. You know how much joy and happiness that guy brought me?
Exactly.
Every time Aaron Rodgers stepped back to throw the ball, I knew something good could happen. Right? I've seen that guy make insane plays, and I'm not going to take up any more of your time. Aaron Rodgers, if you do not win this game, I'm gonna have to break up with you, Aaron. Our relationship will be cut off at the seams, dude. Jimmy covers till the final whistle. Military broadcast radio. New York Jets plus 100 on the money line. We need it like we need oxygen, boys. Like
And
we need
Rodgers-
water.
Rodgers needs
Gotta
to
have
too. You
He
got
does.
Salah fired.
3 picks,
I mean,
and then the head coach gets fired. That's
It's
crazy.
it's time to show people that I was the right decision. You got to win this game, man.
Yeah.
Got to.
You gotta.
It's not a one-on win. Oh, it's not the Jets should win. They're a home team. This is a must-win situation, not just for the Jets, for Aaron Rodgers, because that media, oh, we fired Salah and you still can't. You're still
Okay,
doing.
after.
We changed the freaking offensive play caller from Hackett. They got rid of his boy. They probably said, okay, you had a chance to do it your way. Now you got to do it our way. Brees Hall has to have a big game for the Jets to win. Aaron Rodgers, I'm sorry, put away your ego. Put away your ego, dude. Put it in away.
Hall needs to touch the football 20 times. I'm just saying it.
Easily.
New York Jets
Give him-
plus 100.
Just give him some opportunities.
Best bet. You got to bet it. You got to bet the Jets. Right
Even
now,
if it's in the receiving game.
and the
He has
odds,
20
it's a
touches
pick 'em. It's a
receiving
1
and
point
rushing.
spread.
Yeah.
You know, so you're taking the plus. I mean, you're left to lay the juice with the Buffalo Bills.
Buffalo's defense hasn't been that. I mean, you can run the ball on them. We've seen it. I mean, Baltimore victimized them on the ground, and
They have a good matchup here. the
that
Jets.
was where the Cardinals, even though they lost, they were strong against that. Even the Texans, without Joe Mixon, did a decent job on the ground against the Bills. You got 2 exceptional backs. You got a guy who should be a top 3 back in the league, no question, and he hasn't played that way. Let's get him involved. Let's attack one of the Bills' weaknesses, which is their run defense. Let's
And
get after it.
No Ed Oliver for the Houston or for the Buffalo Bills. Excuse me.
Your best interior.
You have to run the football, Aaron Rodgers.
You got to.
All right. Let's go to a quick break. When we come back, we got some coaches that should be on the hot seat and teams that are in trouble. We're going to jump into that and break it all down. Don't go anywhere. Much more till the final whistle to come.
We'll be right back.
Use the bathroom. Show though so far, boys. We're killing it.
Oh, yeah.
We're on fire today. I'm feeling it.
Are you guys going to end it early so that
You guys want to send that one?
We got about an hour left.
Let's
Come
go.
back. We can kind of do some of our guys.
We
on
still got to do top plays too.
We do like hot seats, teams that are in trouble, and then top plays. And I don't know. We'll see where the viewership and everything is at. Maybe.
Right about a constant 7-8 people.
Yeah, I mean, there's like that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if I want to end it early because we've had like pretty good like eyes on this show. Here, let me run the
Yeah, I got to go to the bank.
Why is this movie or this music video reminds me of Step Brothers? Why does it remind me of the
Yeah.
Catalina wine mixer?
Fucking Catalina wine mixer.
It's a heartfelt moment, but they're just like singing a song at this huge event,
right?
and it's 2 like younger guys. I'm like Will Ferrell.
You never seen Step Brothers?
Yeah, I have.
I was
I know
gonna
what
say,
you're
what
talking
the
about.
fuck?
Raising 3 kids while he stood on the front lines from dawn to dusk in the gun smoke skyline. Fly that flag in your front yard as high as you can, except for when we lose one defending the land of the free. We're in the home of the brave. And pour one out for the ones who never made it home. Say a prayer for their mama as if she was your own. Can't wait to tell my boys about the wars we won. Yeah, I'm proud to be a soldier's son. Yeah, I'm proud to be a soldier's son.
Yeah, I probably got to go Dable for the Giants. He's on the hot seat. My Philadelphia fans think Sirianni's got to be on the hot seat. The most obvious one is going to be Doug Peterson, obviously.
Him and Stefanski.
I think Stefanski might be safe, honestly.
I do think he's safe.
I think he's safe.
He got back-to-back Coach of the Year.
Yeah, I think he's safe.
Dennis Allen's ass better be on the hot seat. Did you see that comment on my videos? Like, the Saints should have fired Dennis Allen before, like, September 2022.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
You are looking live at Military Broadcast Radio. I'm your host, Jimmy Covers. To my left is Caveman. To my right is HG. And about week 6, week 7, we start to look forward to some of the coaches on the hot seat. Boys, week 7 coming up. We already know Rob Saleh, first coach fired for the New York Jets. Well, really,
That's
Aaron Rodgers
surprising.
fired his
He
head
shouldn't
coach.
have been the first coach.
He shouldn't have been. He was.
Jimmy saw
I-
that one coming.
I saw that one coming. I knew that was going to happen.
Again, I can see why it would make sense. I mean, he was 20-36 in 4 years with the Jets. Really
I don't know
got
if that
that.
was really him, though.
Yeah, but he never. Yeah, like he never
Organizations
really
use
got.
football games, not coaches.
Yeah, he never really got the
He
pieces
never had a
he
shot.
needed.
And when the ownership is dependent on just one person, they sell their soul to the devil. This is what you get. Caveman, who do you see as being a coach on the hot seat going into week 7?
An obvious one, man. Doug freaking Peterson, dude, and this Jacksonville Jaguars. They got to figure something out.
They're
Like,
doing nothing over there.
on paper, this is like the most weapons that T-Law's ever had. They got a pretty solid running back duo. Etienne, Tank Bigsby, Christian Kirk, Gabe Davis, Calvin Ridley, Evan Ingram. Dude has people to throw the football to and hand it off to. Like, how is this not a successful team?
Brian Thomas Jr., elite
Brian
rookie
Thomas
wide
Jr.
receiver. They did lose Calvin Ridley. He plays for Tennessee now.
Oh, yeah, he's on.
But still, I mean, Christian
Yeah,
Kirk's
so-
great.
Yeah.
There's
Gabe
so many
Davis is a
people.
good deep threat.
Brian Thomas Jr.
Thomas
been
Jr.
cashing those touchdown bets for us, buddy.
He has. He's been looking good for a rookie. And we saw signs of life in the week before London.
Yeah.
They had a huge 75-yarder, 62-yarder with Bigsby. ETN is where the real struggle is.
That's T-Law's college teammate.
Yeah.
You'd think that they'd have like some chemistry. They have absolutely no freaking chemistry.
Yeah, it doesn't seem
They don't do
like it at
anything
all.
together where it's like, oh, these two guys have played with each other for the last 10 years of their life.
Yeah, no, the
Nothing.
chemistry.
You can kind of see it with Bo Nix, Troy Franklin.
Yeah.
Where is it with those two?
Yeah. That's a good
Well,
point, Caveman.
They did
Yeah,
hook
they
up for a
played.
touchdown this week.
Yeah,
First
they did.
one in pro.
Franklin he's getting more and more snaps. I just think he was.
It's just a matter of time.
Yeah,
It's a matter of time.
it's getting there. I mean, they almost had a big one last week too.
Oh, yeah.
He just missed it a little bit. Just to piggyback off of the Bigsby thing, like, how do we go from watching Tank Bigsby just absolutely run through the Colts defense, and then our thought process is, gee, let's give him 7 carries
Yeah.
in this game. And you know
Yeah,
what?
Great
Let's make
observation.
our leading running back the Ernest Johnston. Yeah, let's give him 9
Smart.
carries. Like, what are we doing?
Smart.
Doug Peterson.
But what was their game plan going into this Chicago game? Like, they really...
Right.
Was there one?
I don't think there was.
Dude, you're down. One play I was going to highlight them. They're down 21-10 in the third quarter. The Bears are obviously trying to work a little clock, and they come out and like they have 1 receiver on the field and 3 tight ends, and an I formation, like single back. Like, I wonder what they're gonna do
Wonder what they're
on
gonna do.
11
Okay.
with 1 wide receiver on the field. Gee, are they gonna throw it or are they gonna run the ball?
Right.
Probably run it. So what type of defense are we going to call? 2 high safeties that are
Oh, no.
way back there. And then we're going to have a 4-man front. And then our linebackers are going to be playing like 5-6 yards
Oh,
back
no.
behind that. So obviously your
gosh.
defensive line gets blown off the ball. I mean,
Yeah.
They,
Exactly.
they,
They have no chance.
No chance.
they take the double team all the way to the second level before peeling off and hitting your linebacker. And I mean, like, it's just like, right there, you've already given up 6 yards automatically. Like there's not even a defender within the running back, like 6 yards of the line of scrimmage. So he's already got a free 6 yards. He hits the hole. It's swift. He's got that speed, and it's like an 18-yard gain. And it was just like a number of plays and defensive calls like that where I'm like, okay, come on, we know what Chicago's going to do. Why are you just giving them this yardage? So Peterson, I think he's the next.
He's
to
the
go.
most obvious one.
He's got to go.
Jacksonville Jaguars urged to fire offensive coordinator and not the head coach. What I'm looking up.
Who's their OC?
Press Taylor.
Oh yeah, I never even heard of that guy.
And their defensive coordinator was the defensive coordinator and D-line coach for the Atlanta Falcons last year.
Oh no,
So
that's
I-
not
that-
good.
Like what?
That's stellar
awful.
defense. What are we doing?
Yeah,
So
that's
that's a
awful.
great hire right there.
I don't know.
It's just really funny that in the offseason.
Sounds like that entire freaking coaching staff is on the hot seat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they all
they're
gotta
They all
go.
got to go, dude. What
And
is
the-
happening?
And the general manager, because what the heck did you do bringing that in there?
Yeah, who's the GM of the freaking
The owner of the team.
That's Shad
Shit.
Khan.
shit?
Yeah, Shahid Khan.
Yeah,
He before this season said that this was the best Jaguars team
yeah.
that could be going into a year in the NFL.
And he's eating those words right now.
Yes, he is.
Not good,
Let me,
buddy. Not good.
Let me put you on to
He
somebody.
remains steadfast in supporting Doug Peterson.
Boys, this is somebody who I don't think
Man.
is really getting brought up on being on the hot seat talks, but I think it's time we do put him up there. Jonathan Gannon, Arizona Cardinals head coach.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I mean,
potentially.
Potentially, yeah. That's a
They're-
good one.
What's
That's
the
a deep
record
cut.
now? They're 1-3, 1-4.
I think the Arizona Cardinals right now. I have their thing up. They did beat the San Francisco.
did so.
And they
They're
also beat the LA Chargers. Oh yeah, they're 2-3.
2-3,
2 division wins though. That's still kind of up for
Or
grabs.
excuse me, 2-4 now.
2-4. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just you're getting blown out by Green Bay. The Niners really beat themselves in that game too. Like
They did.
They gave the Cardinals like a
They
lot
gave
of
them.
chances to
Yeah,
come back.
Brock Purdy threw like 3 picks, I think.
Yeah, it was something like that. And it's just like they haven't honestly looked all too great outside of that LA game. Kind of got embarrassed by Detroit. They got embarrassed by the Commanders.
Only
Right.
lost by 1 touchdown to Detroit, 20-13. That was a weird. That was a
Yeah, but they just
Jared Goff was just fumbling the ball away.
like they just got dominated by Detroit's defense.
Defense, yeah.
Got embarrassed by the Packers. And
They fumbled the ball away too for us. Like they had 4 fumbles.
like if he doesn't
You know,
string
they
together,
lost
Fumble
that.
recoveries for
Packers-
defense.
Yeah.
if he doesn't string together some wins, I mean, come on, this is a talented team. You got Trey McBride, one of the rising young stars at tight end. Marvin Harrison Jr. out there. You spent the high pick on him.
I think they'll give him
James
another
Conner.
year or two, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, but just something to keep an eye on. I could see him, potentially getting on the hot seat if the Cardinals can't string it
Turn
together.
it
Because
around.
they're a more talented team than being 2-3.
I think so. Yeah.
Is Dennis Allen on the hot seat? Are they going to fire him and hire Clint Kubiak? Is that correct?
I mean, I don't know.
I think he's
It definitely
somebody
makes
that I think
sense.
could be an off season. I don't think they'll fire him in the season.
I
I don't think the
they'll fire
Saints
him
are a
this
bad
season
enough team
either. No,
to fire him in the season. That's a good question, Caden.
because like they're getting success out of the offense, and coming from being a defensive coordinator, Dennis Allen is kind of showing us the defensive scheme is not very successful,
Yeah, that's.
like at all.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you just need more guys there. I think you gotta have a couple good drafts coming up. I don't know. I could
Yeah.
probably see Dennis Allen probably being fired this offseason and go with
Definitely.
a young offensive play caller. Especially, it just depends on maybe Spencer Rattler how he shows.
That's true.
If Dennis
That's
Allen
true.
kind of leads the young rookie quarterback
then
to,
he stays.
he'll probably stay. If the wheels fall off the track, then you probably got to go a young, maybe Kubiak. I mean, the family history is there. That'd be kind of a reach. But you got to get an offensive. Like the Saints are smart enough, I think. Where after Peyton, they just want a defensive guy, hold down the fort. We'll figure it out. I think
But
they
the
got to
defense
go
hasn't-
another young.
Hasn't been great.
No, but I mean
Defensive-
also.
Dennis Allen's a defensive minded coach.
He
That's
is a
his
defensive-
background.
Yeah.
As
I
a
just don't know if he
defensive
has-
coordinator, he has 2 wins. wins.
I don't
As
know
a
if he
head
has
coach,
a.
he has 19 wins.
Yeah,
So
I just don't know if he has the guys there in place. I don't know. Like I know they have
That's
Cam
true.
Jordan. He's kind of old. You have Granderson. I like him.
Yeah.
Lattimore. He's kind of getting up there in
Mario
age.
Davis again.
Another
he's up there.
getting up there
yeah.
in age. I just think there needs to be more
Tyrann
depth
Matthew
there.
again. It's like
Getting
another
up there
guy
in
that's getting
age.
up there in age.
You know,
Kind of an old
I
defense.
think your defense
That Kool-Aid.
plays his system and style of defense well. I mean, you got the ball. Like you got picks. You got I don't know. Like it's always a push pull thing with me. Like because I could see it from both sides. Like you know, you can make
Yeah.
a case for anything really. And then going from a defensive minded head coach to a young head coach who when you guys hired Sean Payton, young new play caller, unique offensive system. You know, Drew Brees. You kind of came in there. You set the world on fire. I think the Saints might try to recapture that magic with Spencer Rattler, depending on how he shows
We'll see.
the rest of the season. You know,
He's on hold from the hot.
he's on
seat
hold
for
from the
now.
hot seat. I think his seat is warming up.
It's
yeah,
warming up.
definitely is.
I don't think it's as hot as my guy, who I'm going with, who is definitely on a hot seat, just because of the names that are out there that have associations with the New York Football Giants. Brian Daboll, he is on the hot seat.
He's the
They
play caller
showed
this year.
nothing on offense against the
Yeah.
Cincinnati Bengals. Garbage defense.
Yeah, the defense is
It is garbage.
how do you go to Seattle and look like really good,
Yeah, what
and
the
Daniel
Yeah.
Jones, you guys put up a bunch of points, you're
Yeah.
controlling the ball, you're running it really well. The Seahawks have a better defense than the Bengals. I think we can
100%.
agree on that. Better
Yeah.
defensive-minded coach with what's his name, Brian.
Brian Daboll.
No. The guy in Seattle. I'm blanking on his name.
Oh, Mike McDaniel,
No, that's
the head coach.
No, it's not McDaniel. Well, we'll come back to it. But the guy that he was Ravens defensive coordinator last year. Yeah, but you come in, you do really well against a good defense
His
like
name is
that.
Mike.
Mike McDonald.
Mike
Yeah,
McDonald.
Mike McDonald.
What did I say, McDaniel?
Yeah, we were right there, right? So I'm like, you're like, oh, okay, it looks like this offense is gonna maybe start to take the next step. The Bengals defense has just been god awful.
Awful.
I will say
Dude,
their defensive line got healthy, and that really
Yeah.
helped. DJ Reader, BJ Hill's back there. That was really helping them. Sam Hubbard and Trey Hendrickson now were able to just kind of tee off on the run. But
I mean, Joe Burrow didn't do anything and you lost.
Yeah, no Malik Neighbors. I guess you can give him that benefit, but
I don't know. I mean, they didn't even try to get their running back going.
no.
no.
I mean,
You
they
know,
were,
if you're
they
not
were
running,
lining up as a wide receiver more, and I was like,
Right.
I know he used to play wide receiver, but
you got to get him going out of the backfield, and then you can set everything up after that. That's why I think Brian Daboll. There's just no continuity within that offense. There's no style. There's no hell or high water. We know we're doing this on offense versus everybody. Like even decent teams show that okay, we're gonna lose. At least we're gonna do this. The Saints lost. Alvin Kamara, dog. You saw what they're gonna do with the deep ball in New Orleans. They're at least gonna show. I don't care who you are. We're doing this, right? And we're gonna establish that. They do not do that in New York. Brian Daboll, ex-defensive coach for the New York Giants, going back to the 80s with Bill Parcells. Bill Belichick, ready and available. And you're going to give him maybe a top 5 draft pick next year? Next year's draft,
It's interesting.
Arch Manning coming out in the draft. Could they do, Eli Manning played with the, New York Giants, also held out in the draft.
They
So
might
we
have to
could
wait.
try to go to a team, which I think they will for sure. They got to
So I
get their
think
money out
the
of Daniel
Manning
Jones.
plan-
They
Don't
can't
take
have
draft,
they can't
yeah.
have the dead money cap on Daniel Jones' contract. He has to play next year. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
It's the year after that you're like, okay, because I think Dayball gets fired this year. Bill Belichick has, Daniel Jones his last year. He sees what he has, who stays, who goes. Out those guys, go in all their crappy contracts. They have a couple defensive guys for the Giants that are stalwarts there that are under
yeah.
contract that are going to be there for a while. Kayvon Thibodeau looks nice. They also got Brian
Dexter
Burns.
Lawrence.
Dude,
Dexter Lawrence
he's been
is
a monster.
awesome.
He might be the best.
Bill
interior
Belichick,
D lineman
defensive
this
coach, he
year.
might go there to be able to establish that style of defense that he wants. When he was good in New England, he had Vince Wilfork in the middle. Reminds me of some shades of him with his athleticism.
Like, the Giants secondary ain't bad either.
Ain't
It's
bad.
really not that.
I
It's
mean,
not
like,
that bad.
You hold
I
the
really
Cincinnati
like-
Bengals to 7
I think-
I like Pinnock a lot
Yeah.
out there at safety.
Julian Love.
Yeah.
Shout out Notre Dame. solid,
Mhm.
will come up and hit you. You know, plays that physical box presence. I like him, man. I think that hot seat for the Brian Daboll in New York
It's a
is
good thing.
scorching hot.
It's a good thing, though.
Especially with Robert Saleh already getting fired. If Saleh can go with Aaron Rodgers, Brian Daboll has to be looking in the rearview mirror. When's the U-Haul truck pulling up to the doorstep?
Because I mean, it's been such a huge drop off from that first year going to the playoffs. I know you had a lot of quarterback turmoil last season, which is why you probably get the benefit of the doubt. Team's healthy. Daniel Jones is staying healthy. Malik Neighbors is absolutely balling. Like, if
He's banged up now, but yeah, he's playing
you're
really good
you're
football.
paying this quarterback a lot of money. You got to figure out a way to make this team work. It's an expensive. Yeah, you got an expensive QB back there. Try to
There.
unlock his strength. It's not going well,
You know,
especially with how good of a defense you have.
You know who's an interesting thought for to be on the hot seat?
Who's that?
Buffalo Bills head coach.
Sean McDermott.
Ooh.
What
that's
happens
true.
if they shit down their leg with Tyreek Hill not playing for Miami and Tua's injury, and
The
that
Jets
division's
struggling.
wide open right now, right?
It is.
If they don't
With a
dominate the division right
Well,
Well, if they don't make the AFC Championship game,
yeah.
that's my thing.
I
Is he
think,
on the hot
dude,
seat? Because
another
maybe not
another-
now for Week 7, but to project forward into the playoffs. If they don't at least make a championship game with Josh Allen, Doug McDermott,
Another playoff loss, especially to the Chiefs. Like, come on, bro.
or Baltimore,
Yeah.
or the Bengals are probably going to have to come in there on the road if they sneak in as a wild card. Buffalo, they win the division at 10-7 or whatever it is. I think that guy.
team's been
He gone.
Too talented.
Too
for
talented.
too
You got
long.
too much invested in, Josh Allen. He doesn't even call plays. He's trying to be a CEO of a team that, like a Mike Tomlin type, and it's just not working for him.
And again, he's like a defensive mind.
Defensive minded head
So-
coach, and your defense stinks.
Yeah.
Never really been all that good. I've never seen the Bills play defense like, oh, I'm worried about that.
I'm like, what were you
You know
doing?
what I mean?
Maybe like the first year that they were really starting to pop off was when they had a really good defense. But since then, it's just
When they had
slowly
Tremaine
declined.
Edmonds and
Well-
some of those other guys.
And their general manager, I think it's Brandon.
Brian Bean, yeah.
He could be in some trouble too, because like, what were we doing this offseason? Like,
Right.
why?
Lost all your receivers.
Well,
Yeah.
their cap strong, dude.
Yeah.
Their dead cap hit for Stephon Diggs is like close to
That-
Yeah,
30
you
million.
put yourself in absolute hell with your cap space, and then you lost a lot of your top targets for your elite quarterback.
They lost their starting center from last year to the Chicago Bears in free agency.
Your line got worse. Your secondary got worse. Your receiving core got worse. I mean, yeah,
The
these
run
guys
defense
are on the hot
isn't
seat.
there.
come
It's
on.
tough.
You're
And
You might have-
for the type of football that the Bills are trying to play too.
yeah.
If they're just trying to, if they're an up and coming team and this and that or whatever, like, okay, he's probably safe.
They're trying to be.
They're
Super
trying to
Bowl
be
contenders.
Super Bowl
Yeah, that's
contenders,
the team that's playing
and they haven't even made an AFC Championship game with Josh Allen yet. Or I think last year they went to it, but they lost to the Chiefs.
No, they made it. It was a few. They lost
A
to the
few
Chiefs
years-
a few.
it was a few
ago.
years
a few
ago.
years ago.
So
And they haven't
exactly,
even-
it's like
They haven't even been able to
you
get
got
back.
it, you got
They
it,
haven't
you
been
got.
able to get
If
back.
he doesn't go this year, I think his seat is gonna. I think right now it's already warming up, but in terms of being on the hot seat, we're gonna find out once that calendar turns into
Yeah.
big boy football from November to December into January, and that's where that Buffalo Bills defense is gonna have to make hay.
Mhm.
And if they don't, McDermott, he gone.
'Cause they got a
Uh,
freak athlete at quarterback, dude.
I got
Yeah.
Josh Allen's like 6'4". This dude looks like Cam Newton out there, man.
All right,
They'll
guys.
run you over.
I got a coach who his seat's not just hot; it is boiling. He is in the hottest, deepest pit of hell right now.
Who?
Mike McCarthy.
Oh
He's
yeah,
gotta be. He's
yeah,
gotta
dude.
be. I
How
thought he was
much-
gone last year.
How much
I thought
longer
he was.
is Jerry Jones going to put up with this guy? Dude, you got absolutely embarrassed at home on your owner's birthday.
His voice got super high. It's so funny.
Dog.
It was on Jerry
I love
Jones'
it.
birthday.
I
Yeah,
love
it was
Oh,
Jerry
no.
Jones' birthday.
That was Jerry Jones' birthday. Got slaughtered by 40 at home.
That's
Hey.
awesome.
Oh no!
That's
The
awesome.
Detroit Lions, they came out and had such little respect for your team. Dude, they were up 34-9, and they have offensive linemen running routes at wide receiver. They're trying to throw them touchdown passes. They were up 37-9, and they ran a hook and ladder play to the
Oh,
right tackle.
no.
That's wrong.
Oh no!
Happy birthday, Jerry.
Up
Oh,
40-9,
no.
and you have your starters in throwing passes in the fourth quarter.
Oh no.
I mean, the just straight disrespect for them. And let's think about the last 4 Dallas Cowboys home games. 47-9, just whooped by the Lions. They made it close at the end against the Ravens, but the Ravens kind of blew them out of the water. And
That's
then,
when they subbed in the third string guys.
yeah, they let the
took their
foot
foot
really
off
off
the
the gas a little too early, and Dallas almost made the game of it. Whatever. But still pretty embarrassing. They were down like 20-6 at halftime. They've been trailing by double digits at home their past 4 home games. The Saints, they came in there and just
HG with the truth bomb, dude.
Yeah.
the Saints came in there and just
Sorry,
dog
Sabrina.
walked them. That was like a 27-7 score at halftime. And then going back to last season, at home against the Packers in the playoffs, whooped again. Whooped by a rookie quarterback in his first. Well, rookie because it was his first season.
First year starting. Yeah.
First playoff.
First playoff game.
Yeah, first playoff game ever, and he just
$1 billion payroll for Jerry Jones.
diced your team up.
5 passing touchdowns.
Absolutely
Set a
embarrassing.
Green Bay Packer. Tied Brett Favre's Green Bay Packer passing playoff record. 5 touchdowns, 1 game. No big deal. Shout out Jordan Love. 7-2.
You're letting
6
let the first year starter
0-6-2-7.
do that to
Yeah.
your defense
Yeah, dude.
in a home playoff game
I
where
mean,
they were dominant at home.
You guys are like constantly in prime time. You're constantly America's game of the week.
America's team.
Something's gotta
Dallas Cowboys.
something's gotta change. I mean,
America.
Fox is gonna get upset. They keep sending their top broadcast team to Dallas to watch you
Yeah,
guys
dude.
get blown out.
That's
Well, let's see.
tough.
Sabrina left a comment here. They're just making other teams lower their guard. You know, I respect it.
Man.
They're trying to lull them to
Respect it.
sleep.
Yeah. Lull them to
I know
sleep.
they didn't go in as hard as they should have in the off season, but you still got CeeDee Lamb there. Their defense is banged up, whatever. But I mean, this is just a theme for the Cowboys the past few seasons under McCarthy. Oh, they'll kick the crap out of bad teams. They'll beat the snot
Oh, yeah.
out of the 1-13 Carolina Panthers. They'll destroy them. The Commanders before they got good. They'll drop 38 on them. But then you come and you play a good team, and you getting just destroyed, or you lose an embarrassing.
They're
fashion.
gonna find out
Most of the
something,
time.
buddy. They play in San Francisco, at Atlanta, home against Philly, home against Houston, at Washington.
I mean, the Philly
The Giants
game,
game is gonna be. I think they'll do all right too.
Yeah.
Cincinnati playing better. They end the season. Tampa Bay at Philly, home against Washington. That's I mean,
that's a tough.
that's
schedule right
tough,
there,
dude.
That's hard.
Yeah.
I mean, and they're already they're 3-3, the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think
they're 3. Yeah, they're 3-3.
Also, I think Jerry's got
they
to sell
can
the
go
team,
on. They
man.
could go on a 5-game losing streak. They could easily lose the Atlanta Falcons in Atlanta.
I don't even want to put this on Mike McCarthy because Jerry Jones, I don't know what he's doing. He didn't make any big pushes for free.
Well, they're also in cap hell too.
Yeah.
He has to pay his own guys. He's in a position that the Packers are always in, where they drafted Michael Parsons. Guess what? Turned into an all-pro player,
Yeah.
right? Defensive Player of the Year candidate. You got to pay him. They haven't yet. Dak Prescott, you have to give a bag to because you finally have a mediocre quarterback who's better than you ever had since Troy Aikman, probably. You have to pay him, even though I don't probably agree with how much they paid him, but that's just the market, so it is what it is. And then you have to pay CeeDee Lamb, who I don't even value as I got Nico Collins over CeeDee Lamb any day of the week. I would never choose CeeDee Lamb over Nico Collins in anything, including fantasy. So it's and you just gave him basically Justin Jefferson money. And now you're tied to the guy for the next 5 years at least.
Yeah,
And he's shown that he's already a step slower from last year.
the stats just aren't there. I mean, you didn't give him anybody to help him out. I mean, he just
They got rookie offensive linemen up and down that offensive line.
right.
Jalen Guyton, big stud from Oklahoma, leads the league in holding penalties. That's going to be tough. No running game either.
Trayvon Diggs got overhyped. Now that teams aren't just throwing free interceptions to him all season.
He's come back from an injury. It's going to take a minute for him to bounce back from an injury.
Well, even then, the reason he got so many picks is that he was just so aggressive.
breaking on the ball.
Yeah.
He wasn't guarding people and getting picks. He just randomly, he would just cut off a pick.
So it was high risk, high reward. Because
I
he
saw
would get
him
a ton
get
of
picks
hits.
around. Like, I wish they would throw Jair Alexander a ball like that.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, he's so aggressive. Where it's like, oh yeah, sure, he might get a pick 6, but also he's going to give up like 200 passing yards or 200 receiving yards. And then it wasn't that big of a deal because you had good players in that secondary behind them, but their secondary got worse. Name their safeties. I can't.
Right.
Duran
Bland.
Bland, he's hurt.
He's hurt.
So I mean,
So
Yeah.
they really have no.
Nothing.
and I don't.
I think they got a rookie back there.
Yeah,
That dude from Clemson from last year played pretty good, but I think he's just a rookie.
can't really stop the run. Can't really stop the pass.
Yeah, that's a good one, HG, about Mike McCarthy. I mean, I didn't even think about him where it's like, I think Jerry Jones is so inept. I was like, I probably forget that he even has the guy hired as his head coach. So I'm like, Mike McCarthy, he's kind of, he gave him that big contract. Jerry's he's kind of a cheap SOB, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to ride it. He wrote it with, Garrett for how long, there in Dallas. For how long did he have that Jason Garrett guy
And that's because
who was
Jason
awful?
Garrett, he just, at that time, Jerry Jones just needed a yes man. And
Yeah.
let me tell you, Jason Garrett, not that great of a coach.
No.
So he's going to be a yes man.
But
for
boy,
you.
he could sure
Sure,
say
yeah,
yes.
He can sure say yes.
Mike McCarthy's just.
Oh, challenge a play that we can't challenge, Jerry? You got it, bud. Let's do it. Not once, not twice, but 3 times, including once in a playoff game versus the Seattle Seahawks in 2016. No big deal.
Yeah.
And they,
Wild.
that Dallas team, they love to have
Top
really
place?
bad relationships with their players.
And so
Yeah.
one more just note on this. I don't think the Cowboys are going to really be able to actually be like competitive in that team that we saw in the 90s until Jerry sells the team.
I
Because
agree.
he's out of touch with it.
He's definitely
He wants to be bigger than the organization.
Going up to practice in
landed-
a helicopter.
Landing
Well,
on the
we-
practice field.
This
in your
Dallas
helicopter.
Cowboys branded helicopter. Man, how much did it cost just to paint that logo on your helicopter?
Right.
Let alone buy the fucking helicopter.
Like no kid in the product on the field isn't good. The owner's trying to be bigger than the team itself, and
Bingo.
you'll lose football games. So Jerry Jones, sell the Cowboys. You had a great run. You were one of the all-time managers. It's time to hang it up.
He built the business for the NFL into what it is today.
Yeah.
Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer.
Look, you're 86, bro. You can't do it forever. Just
Yeah.
It's
He
okay.
bought the team for $63 million, dude.
go ahead.
You're going to sell it for fucking $20 billion.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
Cowboys could probably be the
Yeah.
most expensive team ever sold. This
Ever
year.
sold. Oh, for sure.
Even though they haven't had any real playoff success in 20 plus years, they're still one of the easily most recognizable
Oh, dude, yeah.
brands in
And-
America. It's just one of the biggest brands.
Bezos could write that $20 billion check and forgot he lost it the next day, and the Dallas Cowboys would run the NFL for the next 50 years.
With all that money coming
Yeah.
in from Bezos.
You know what I mean? Like the Dallas Cowboys sponsored by Amazon. It'd be, it wouldn't be Jerry World anymore. It'd be Amazon World.
Yeah.
It's like,
They're going to be selling for, trick or treat candy out of the back of the freaking, stadium. The Amazon trucks are just going to pull in. They're going to go, pull right out, and they're going to be loaded. Like they're just going to use the stadium as a warehousing because the team's so freaking bad. They're not playing in January. Might as well utilize the
Yeah.
space.
like it's such a big team. You literally, your logo is what embodies Texas. It is the Lone Star.
All right.
Yeah.
The Lone Star is literally their logo. That's the biggest name
Yeah.
in football, even though they suck.
All right. Well, that's the rant on the hot seats. What teams are in trouble? Let us know if we missed anybody, or if there are any teams you think might fire their coach or are in a lot of trouble for the upcoming remainder of the season. We got a lot of top plays to get to, so
A lot of
let's
top plays.
jump into it, Mr. Covers.
All right. First
Top
one.
plays time.
How did they not get the first down?
This one's actually just
Oh,
a
yeah.
picture. We might have to put it up. Look at all that space right there.
So,
How did
yeah,
he not
look
get
at
the
that.
first down?
Before we get the top play,
That
or not top play,
Yeah.
Saquon, what are you doing here?
1 yard.
hey, they love him. They gave him $20 million, dude.
It's like 36 million.
Hey,
He played 36
like-
million worth
Hey.
against the Saints.
nope, can't have it. Nope, can't. And he probably tripped over his own feet again, didn't he?
No, he just leaped out of bounds because a defender was coming to cut him off. Instead of just turning it upfield, and running through. It's one guy. I mean, try to make him miss or run him over.
Yeah.
He runs towards the sideline. And he like tries to like ankle past the defender and jump out, and he jumps out like a half foot short.
That's so dumb.
That is awful.
Yeah.
That's literally, you got 10 yards of clear space.
Right. I mean, come on, Saquon. Make this guy miss. You probably take this upfield for like a 20, 30-yard game. What are we doing?
Another not top play. Bryce Young should be learning from the Red Rocket. Is that a good thing? Let's find out.
Jesus Christ.
And it's gone. Bryce Young doesn't need to learn from the
Yeah,
Red
True
Rocket.
professional, huh?
That should have been a pick six. Like he just wanted to get the game over.
Just get the. I don't blame him, dude. I'd want to get that game over too.
I feel like that was he just felt bad for the Panthers. He's
Yeah,
like,
we can just end this game right now.
Let's just,
I don't even want to kick off. He's probably on special teams, that player right there. So he's probably like, I don't feel like
Let's
running
take
no more. Let's just take
we're
this
just
play off.
kicking it.
We get paid regardless. The check's gonna hit on Tuesday.
We're kicking them while they're down anyway. It's like they're not getting back up. They're on there. They're staying on the mat.
My guy Jordan Love just dropping bombs and dime. I mean, if you like downfield passing, vertical passing offenses, watch the Green Bay Packers, dude. They throw the ball downfield, and Jordan Love the accuracy. Like, I don't think this is an accident.
This
Jordan
was a
Love,
impeccable throw.
great throw, great catch. Let's check it out.
Jesus. He's running backwards. Who's 23 on the Cardinals? That dude sucks.
I think that was Sean Murphy Bunting.
Oh, really?
Really.
What a
I think
fall
so.
from grace.
Seriously, a fall from grace.
I'll look it up, but you know what that throw reminded me of? Prime Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, yeah.
That
Falling
backwards.
backwards.
Zero coverage, blitzing him, blitz right away. He's under pressure.
Love's
Falls
feet
back.
weren't even on the ground.
On the
That was
ground,
a jump
bro.
pass, bro.
Jump
A
pass.
jump pass falling away, no leverage right
Yeah.
there.
And then
That's
the body control from Romeo Dobbs.
Yeah, that's a
You
great
know,
effort.
I mean, Romeo had an earlier touchdown catch on a 5-yard out route
It is
where
Sean
he just,
Murphy Bunting.
yeah, Sean Murphy Bunting.
That guy used to be solid.
He was solid if your team sucked, and if you
Yeah.
had somebody, you didn't need him, which is why they
And he
got
was
rid
on
of
the
him.
Titans.
He was on the
So,
Titans.
Team
Yeah.
sucked.
Yeah,
He's
didn't
the
need him.
best player on the
Yeah.
defense for a while.
Like,
He's getting-
I don't know, like there's
Two
a
plays
there,
before that,
there's
he got
so
beat
many
out.
players that I watch where I'm like, and I've seen Chad Ochocinco talk about this on the Uncle Shay podcast, where he's like, bro, like, there's better players in Canada than there are in the NFL. It's just the amount of numbers that the NFL teams can bring in. You know, if you let some of these other guys come in and truly compete for a position, truly compete, take away draft pick, take away contract, really compete for that position, he's like, dude, 3/4 of the NFL players aren't in the NFL right now. These teams just get a financial.
Just off
They
competition.
just get a financial. You know, they're just so dependent on it because we invested in this player, we just can't. So they have to play that out. Where if you just cut that away and let some other guys from other leagues come in, he's like, bro, I know a USFL guy. Chad said he trains with me. He's like, he's starting right now for any team in the NFL. You know, for the Rough Riders. Shout out Rough Riders. And I'm like, man, like, hey. I watched the Baltimore Ravens and Commanders game pretty closely. Terry McLaurin, dude, stud,
Oh yeah.
going off. Was really the only vertical. He had 2 touchdowns this game. Played really good. Game the Ravens did.
I really hope
because Derrick Henry's.
I really hope Jaden Daniels keeps playing the way he's playing for his
I
career.
think so, man.
Because Terry McLaurin, more than anybody, deserves to have a good
Deserves a
quarterback.
good
Watch.
He's been
his
so
tough catch.
going to Washington, and they just have
Yeah,
garbage QBs. It's
and still goes
incredible.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Still
and
goes
he's
off.
Still been one of the better receivers.
Taylor Heineke doesn't matter. We're gonna go into Tampa Bay and almost win that thing.
Yeah.
Let's check out this
Sam
crazy. It was an awesome play watching it live.
Oh.
Sorry, Jimmy covers another technical difficulty. That was a wrong play. I love Jordan Love, but this catch was awesome. And plenty of room over there in the corner of that end zone.
What a throw, too.
The
Right in the
ball,
perfect spot.
dude. Right in the perfect spot, dude.
It's only where he could get it because he's
That's-
getting hugged.
Well-
But you guys laying on his back as they're diving.
It's what I always say. I mean, you can play perfect defense, and a better throw is always going to beat it.
That's all you need.
I mean, he put that where only his receiver could catch it, and Terry McLaurin, elite pass catcher, catches it with a guy falling on top of him. The concentration, the timing. This is
Yeah.
a beauty. Really
Yeah.
love that.
That offense, man. Who's that team's offensive coordinator?
Oh, that's Cliff Kingsbury.
Cliff.
Dude, whatever he did in Thailand, it worked.
Probably did some ayahuasca with Aaron Rodgers. Who knows? Stole his playbook.
Who knows?
Stole his play.
Probably stole his superpowers and gave him to his new young
Jaden
quarterback.
Daniels.
It's
You
like
know?
the backstory of
Because I saw that with Jordy, with Jordy Nelson, and Aaron Rodgers all the time, dude.
it's like,
Yeah.
it's like the backstory of the coach, Bobby Boucher. How he got his playbook stolen by the coach of the other team that they
Yeah.
were rivals
That's
against,
right.
and that's why they suck.
If it
That's
wasn't
amazing.
for this catch by AJ Brown and the Philadelphia Eagles, I don't think they win the game against the the lifeless Cleveland Browns with
This was
absolutely
just
nothing.
Pure strength.
Pure
Power
strength.
out of AJ Brown.
Go. The helmet grab.
Shout out Pink Cleats, dude.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
AJ
that
Brown
was
goes to
awesome.
him. Dude, how
Showing the swag with the pink cleats.
how did Old Miss AJ Brown and DK Metcalf on the team at the same
That's
time?
right.
And they were bad.
4 and whatever. Like they were awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What even happened there? What were we doing? But yeah, I mean that's just pure muscle right there. That was that pass
Holy
interference. I'm
catch.
pretty sure that the DB got there early, starts dragging him down. Just too strong. Catches it. Yeah, I mean that's what's the Eagles are gonna need. Jalen Hurts, he needs his 2 Pro Bowl level wide receivers to throw the ball to. Because we've seen he's not been that good without them in there.
About the only highlight for HG's Broncos, great catch by Cortland Sutton. They reviewed this play. Watching this was awesome. Awesome catch by Cortland Sutton.
Way to get the knee down. Way to get the knee down.
Late hands by Cortland Sutton there, sticking his hands out late.
He's one of the
He's
best
awesome.
pass catchers in the NFL.
He
I
has
mean,
He
hands.
does, man.
The NFL they posted like the Broncos top plays of 2023 like last season. They do that for every team, or every team's like top plays, and it was literally just the Cortland Sutton highlight reel. Everything was just him making insane catches.
The crazy catch against the Bills, where Russell Wilson actually had a good play. He
Like,
ran around in the pocket for a little bit and tossed one up.
he's an amazing possession wide receiver. Like he just
Oh,
doesn't.
got
He's
a
just
sack.
not like a huge. He doesn't get a ton of
He's
separation.
Yeah,
but,
he
like,
doesn't get
You
separation.
need a guy to catch a tough pass on 3rd down,
Oh, he's the
on
man.
4th down,
Yeah,
in the back
You
of the
got
end zone. 9 out of 10 times he'll get
he'll
that
kick the
ball.
ball.
That's why he's used to have on the team. We just need somebody that can take the top off of the defense. Troy Franklin. I'm starting to see the flashes, man. I'm starting to see the vision.
I like it.
Hopefully he can get it going. Delele Vaughn also kind of solid out of the slot for us. Marvin Mims really hasn't shown anything, so he might just be a return guy. But Vaughn could be the slot guy the Broncos are looking for.
About the only bright spot for the Detroit Lions and for their defense is Brian Branch.
Very
He has
good.
a great interception here. Let's check it out.
Diving pick.
What were you throwing at, Dak Prescott? He wasn't even open.
Not even close. That's pretty much triple coverage. There's all the
He-
people in the area.
He threw that. He threw that right to the guy just playing center field. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Look what I
terrible
found.
Like
Terrible.
Rich, he had the back. Like it was impressive because he had to like backpedal and then like kind of jump without, getting a lot of speed. You're backpedaling. Like that should have been a touch. Like Dak should have just put that on the back pylon and let CD try to make a toe tap. Like even if Branch didn't make that play, like you still gave Kirby Joseph a shot to make a play on that and make it incomplete because CD was probably going to have to pull up and come for that. That was like just way underthrown.
Another interception. Texans had a great
Actually,
day.
Jimmy, before we get into that, but Brian Branch's performance in this game, he was insane. So he had 5 tackles. This man had 2 interceptions and a forced fumble, 2 pass deflections, and he got a quarterback hit. So
I
all
got him
over
on
the
my
field.
fantasy team. I got a fantasy team where he was a
Nice.
DB
Yeah.
linebacker.
Oh, cool.
He's been my starter.
Nice.
He's been cooking up. He was injured for a week,
Yeah.
but he came back just as strong as ever.
Cool.
Like,
We
he's been
need
cooking.
Carlton Davis and Terry Arnold. You guys got to start playing up
Yeah.
to what
I don't
your
know.
potential should be, because Branch is out there
Terry and
carrying
Arnold. I don't know.
this defense.
I don't know. That's
He's a
tough.
rookie. Let's see where he
Yeah, he's
I don't
their young guy.
where it goes. I mean, he's been decent in pass coverage. His problem is he's just getting those penalties. That's where he's
Just
struggling.
kill him.
All right, let's
What's our
check
next
out this
It's that Texans pick.
Oh
Drake
yeah,
May.
deflected.
Crazy tip, and he just catches it off Hunter Henry's body.
Yeah, that was great off the deflection, off the player's helmet. That was
Yeah.
fantastic.
heads up play. I mean, let's never take your eye off the ball. That's what happens.
Yeah, he's getting full on blocked, almost pancake
Yeah.
blocked by the tight end. He's catching a pick at the same time.
Just a hike of a concentration play there. What's our next one we got here, Jimmy?
We got a couple good running back plays right here, back to back, for Najee Harris and Monty from the Detroit Lions. That's probably the best play of Najee Harris's career so far,
Yeah,
for sure. You know, he's an iceberg out there when he runs, but that one, he showed some balance. He showed
a
some
little
big.
speed.
They did
Just a
review
little
that. I did see because that game was going on at the
It was close.
B-Dubs. They reviewed it to see if they had a side angle that this highlight didn't show. He kind of started before when he went to go out and dive. That ball was kind of loose in his hand. They reviewed to see if he, had control before the ball crossed the, pylon or whatever. But it was rolled touchdown.
Also, it's kind of insane that if you play either the LA teams or the Raiders at their home stadium, it's just another home game for you. Steelers fans absolutely took over Las Vegas. Like moving the Raiders to Vegas, it gives you it's just another thing to do in Vegas, but it takes away their home field advantage completely.
Yeah, like,
because let's be honest, if you're gonna travel for a game, do I want to go to New Jersey? Do I want to go to Seattle? I mean, those not bad places, Dallas, whatever. Or do I want to go to Vegas? Do I want to spend a week in Vegas where I get to gamble and drink all week while I take the week off and then go watch my team probably beat the Raiders?
Yeah.
Let's be real. That's where you're going to want to go.
Put it all on black, baby. David Montgomery.
Unless the Black's the Raiders.
Yeah.
Still
Yeah.
bet on.
Don't bet on the
Just don't
Raiders.
bet on the Raiders. Absolutely.
Unless it's week 2 in Baltimore. Then bet on.
Then bet on.
Then bet
I'm not
Which
choke
nobody
at
does it.
home against the Panthers.
Yeah.
I hate you.
Brutal.
on. Back to back.
Is and that's what you lost on the
That-
Survivor?
Dude, that knocked me out of my first survivor.
Oh,
They were my
no.
last entry was
Oh,
Raiders at home against the Panthers.
Fucking brutal. Dude.
Max Crosby was healthy in that game too, and
nice.
they didn't get any pressure on
No
Andy
pressure.
Dalton. You let him carve you up for 330
Oh,
yards. Insane.
David Montgomery absolutely destroyed the Dallas Cowboys single-handedly. Let's check this out. And the Chicago Bears got rid of that guy for Khalil Herbert. Drum roll, please.
Khalil Herbert doesn't even see the field.
I honestly thought he had retired until I saw that he scored half a point.
Yeah.
This weekend.
Don't call him just a quarterback. Joe Burrow. There's that little saying that running backs who play quarterback aren't real quarterbacks. They've used it for a few guys in the NFL. I won't name names. Joe Burrow, bringing that into question for the white guys. Let's check out this long Joe Burrow touch. Pretty much the only offense in this game.
The main highlight of this Sunday Night Football. And it was just an instant scramble.
A mean mug. Oh, Joey, you mean?
If that was Daniel Jones, who's scrambled for a few long runs, he fumbles that ball at the pylon.
Jimmy, I was going to say, if I told you that there was a 47-yard touchdown run by a quarterback in a game between the Cincinnati Bengals and New York Giants, who would you have guessed?
I would have guessed Daniel Jones just because he's a running.
Yeah.
He kind of shown that ability. But the turf monster either gets him or he just fumbles the ball randomly.
Yeah.
Like when he's pumping his arm, the ball just flies at it. They call him Whopper Jr. hands on Twitter because he has the smallest hands in the NFL of any quarterback. And I'm like, yeah, Joe Burrow showing shades of LSU Joe Burrow with that run. And then getting to the pylon and making the dive and not fumbling the ball. And they've called it a few times this year where that ball comes out and it fumbles through the end zone out of bounds. They've called it a touchback.
I thought Isaiah Simmons had him there too. Simmons is a fast linebacker.
Oh, he's a beast.
He can fly.
He's that hybrid player where they like to play as a box safety.
He ran like a 4.35 30.
He's a freak.
Like 4.3
from those Clemson defenses.
Yeah, that dude could zip and Burrow right into that.
I wonder if Bill Belichick's going to know how to put that guy in position to make plays.
Oh, I think so. That's another guy that the Giants got on their defense. Where it's like, come on, they gotta be winning games.
And then I love defense. I'm so glad my boys put defensive plays in here.
I always try to
Myles Garrett. He had one last week. Did he get another one, or is this play from last week? Myles Garrett blocks a field goal.
No, he didn't block a field goal last week.
Was it an extra point?
Might have been. That one didn't get returned. The point is, this one did.
Yeah, this one did get returned.
Dude.
How are you letting a guy get straight through the middle of your field goal block, your field goal protection?
What is happening? What is going on?
So, Jimmy,
There's so many block kicks this year.
Jimmy, that right there, that is a 280-pound defensive lineman leaping a center, clearing him. He didn't touch the center.
Right.
That's a penalty.
Right, it's a penalty if you touch him. Any part of him.
Gets over the center and blocks the kick. Freak
Insane, dude.
Myles Garrett, it's like the picture of the Bugatti at the trap house.
Right.
Absolutely,
buddy.
Under 30 years old.
That's
He's
amazing.
only 27 years old.
That's insane,
wasting
guys.
away there.
He's so good.
That is nuts, man.
Yeah.
Kyle Hamilton, my
Only
guy.
touchdown the Browns had that day.
Yeah, wow, dude. Deshaun Watson, man.
The most
What a-
expensive offense in football couldn't even score a touchdown against a bad Eagles defense. Before we move on to this next play,
Uh-oh.
I just want to say something.
Look at this guy.
Oh,
Here
he's
he
back.
is.
No.
We got to see you at the clock
Kyle-
tower, Joe.
Kyle's
You better
back.
keep that energy.
Yeah, you show Clock Tower Grill
6
shit
p.m.
for the Monday Night Football watch party till the final whistle on Military Broadcast Radio.
Come check us out.
Back
Kyle,
to Deshaun Watson.
It doesn't matter, buddy, because if Carter is playing in our league from week 1, Kyle, you're
Carter's going to take
Yeah.
you out.
Carter,
Carter's
yeah,
coming,
coming,
man.
us. Carter's coming for
That's
you.
the
Kyle,
harbinger.
go check
of
out
doom.
the standings, buddy.
Yeah, he's killing it right now. 32-11. Carter on a tear. 12-1. Back to Deshaun Watson just for a quick moment. He's been terrible. We can all agree on that. It's against really bad pass defenses. They haven't played a pass defense that's in the top 15.
This was actually
terms
his
of
best
defending the
game,
pass.
too. This was his best game this year.
Coming
So-
out party for Deshaun Watson.
Yeah,
No
and
offense.
the Browns, they're probably not going to bench him. I'm going to just real quickly here.
I mean, you gotta play him because you're paying him so much, and I don't think they're gonna start Dorian Thompson-Robinson.
No.
He's got a cannon, but I don't think they're gonna start.
Cowboys, their defense hasn't been good. Jaguars, their defense pretty terrible. Giants, I'll give them that. That was a solid defense. They haven't been great against the pass, though. Raiders, terrible defense that's just getting shredded. The Commanders, look, their offense is killing them. Their defense has struggled a lot.
That's the worst defense in the league.
The Eagles, they have their secondary has not shown any improvements, in my opinion. So then they got the Bengals who have had their offensive struggles. But then after that, they're going to have Deshaun Watson's going to have to play the Ravens, the Chargers. The Saints won't be too bad, but then the Steelers,
Yeah, that is that tough.
the Broncos, the Steelers, the Chiefs, the Bengals, the Dolphins, and then the Ravens again. A lot of top tier passing defenses coming up for a guy that's been absolutely terrible. So we're about to see
Man,
just how bad it can get for Deshaun
Oh, yeah.
Watson.
we're gonna find out.
We are gonna find out.
They
Maybe
play
they will
the-
have to throw in Thompson Rowe.
Well, he's going to have to be worried about this guy for the Baltimore Ravens. Kyle Hamilton.
Oh yeah.
Kyle Hamilton. Dog.
Speaking of Kyle,
He brought the boom.
Dog. You got jacked up. Shout out Notre Dame football. Oh,
that's on Scary Terry too.
great hit, great catch,
I
clean
love this
play.
Kyle
That's
Hamilton
football right
guy.
It's
there.
my favorite type of football, man. You can do that still.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like the NFL, I think, overreacts to some of the hits because they want to protect the brand. But I'm like, dude, the people don't care. I want to see bloodshed out on that. I want to see Ronnie Lott ripping his finger off at halftime and coming back and playing in the game. I want to see that with this generation.
Precisely. I love to see
TJ
it.
Watt, probably the defensive player of the year, yeah.
I think it's,
Without Aiden Hutchinson around,
I mean,
think
probably
he's got a
and
chance.
Miles Garrett.
it's past time. TJ Watt
I
wins
think he
one
should have
now.
gotten it last year.
Yeah, he should have won it like 3-4 times.
TJ Watt, probably the only bright spot for this Pittsburgh Steelers defense.
Punch out.
Dude, TJ Watt is
A
terrifying.
lot of guys
I think
are with
he's a
that
psychopath.
with that accurate punch out, like
For
peanut
real.
tin. You're seeing that all over. The Packers had like 3 punch outs,
Yeah.
all on run plays. Man, everybody's using that as a weapon now. If you carry that ball like a loaf of bread, it's probably going to get punched out. It doesn't matter who you are.
Even though he wasn't even like it wasn't even that far off from his body, but if that thing is not tucked up into the shoulder, it's getting punched out by a good defender. TJ Watt's just insanely strong too. Even if that was tucked, that might have come out just with how hard he punched that ball.
Well, Sabrina with a good point there. Chubb will be back here pretty soon for the Browns.
See you at the clock
Yeah,
tower.
I mean, we'll see if
Unless
that.
they got to give him, 50 carries a game if they want to have success.
Yeah, we're gonna see
Who's
if
playing tonight? Oh yeah,
Well,
the,
Chubb will be back next weekend.
He's talking for the Browns.
for the Browns. Gotcha.
So we'll see if that helps them at all. I mean, they're gonna definitely need to run the ball
Definitely.
because you don't want Deshaun Watson, Sam. I can tell you that much.
That is a bright spot. Good to see him back practicing, too. I completely forgot about Chubb.
Glad he's back, and that was a bad injury.
Bucky Irving,
Oh,
great,
God.
great step.
Close your eyes, Saints fans.
Close your eyes.
Hang-
Look at him just kill John Abram.
Oof.
What a run,
Shades
bro.
of Marshawn Lynch and Beastquake run, dude.
No, serious.
Dude, Bucky's
You
like
can make that happen against this Saints defense.
Bucky's like 4
He can
feet
make
tall.
that.
Like
Yeah.
he just threw a
He's-
defender into the
He,
ground.
he's Joel size, and he's out there just stiff arming guys.
John Abram
Broke it.
definitely isn't that much bigger than if he got straight murdered like that. Man, at least you made up for it. You got one of our 3 picks, John Abram.
Yeah.
There you go.
Now that just
Ah,
he's not as small as we're making him out to be, but like yeah,
he's not the biggest guy out there.
he's a undersized back that showing that power. I mean, those guys they're elusive backs. That's what you typically see. But to be able to stiff arm, then he broke another tackle. Then we saw the elusiveness cutting it back upfield. That should have been like a 5-6 yard play. 30.
Shout out
30
to the
yards.
Saints, man. Almost a century of arm tackling. I love it.
I got an ESPN update, boys, real quick. We are on Monday Football Frenzy. I have to interrupt it, dude. Breaking news: MLB, ESPN just updated its viewership for the postseason up 18% from last year.
It's
we
been,
go.
it's been a good playoff.
Maybe if you don't have Arizona and Texas in the World Series, maybe people might watch. I don't know. Shout out MLB.
I mean, you got
Playoffs have been electric.
Come
We
on.
did go with the Mets yesterday. They
You
got blown out, but it's okay.
2 New
Yeah,
York
of
teams and an LA team. Like,
Yeah,
all right, the markets.
yeah.
That's a big market.
The big markets are in. All right, we're gonna go. We touched on them earlier. BYU playing some great football.
Oh yeah.
They're breaking out all the tricks. If you have to watch out for this too with BYU's offense, watch out going into that Big 12. Maybe college football final. He almost dropped that, but he
Hold
didn't.
on to it.
He
Held
held
on
on
to
to it after the hit.
Hey,
And I-
took a hit, yeah.
What do you guys know who that play-by-play guy, that broadcaster
Gus
is named?
Johnson.
Gus Johnson. I
Gus
knew
Johnson.
his last name was John. I couldn't remember his first name.
Amazing.
He
Play-by-play
makes
commentator.
every play sound like it's like the most important play
Like
in
it's a
football.
game-winning overtime touchdown.
A run to the 10. It's like a gain of 4, and I'm
Right.
like, dude, like the guy's not going off.
Make it sound like
He's not going off.
dude just scored the winning touchdown in the Super Bowl.
I
In
watched
offensive
this
central.
guy narrate when he called the game with Texas A&M Alabama when Johnny Manziel went into Alabama, and obviously he scored 5 touchdowns, 500 yards. It was a crazy game. Gus Johnson goes crazy. Obviously, like he's all of his plays are the craziest play in the world. This guy, I think he watched Johnny Manziel start warming up on the sideline. He was calling his warm-up passes, and it sounded like those warm-up passes were the most important passes in the history of college football.
That's hilarious.
He's warming up with, and his voice, and it carries, and he's like, he's warming up with a purpose to come, and it's like, I'm like, buddy, like, hold on.
He was on that TCU Colorado game last year too. That
Yeah.
was just incredible.
That was a crazy game.
Yeah.
That was a wild game.
I mean, Gus Johnson. His
He-
games just find him.
Find him, dude. That's a great point.
Yeah.
It's like, but I think he also does a really good job. One of my
Awesome.
favorite college football broadcasters out
Also,
there.
Mark Jones. That guy's hilarious.
Mark Jones is good.
We have this play, and he actually roll the Gideon's juke on Shiloh Sanders. Just you gotta hear like Mark Jones's call on this. This dude's just hilarious.
Mm,
It's in there somewhere.
oh, there it is.
There you go.
Oh. Must be jelly.
Oh, swing and a miss. He called him shit door.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's
Bro.
a sweet jig. Running full speed like that in the hole and
You know
cut
what
it. Tough.
You know what wasn't included in that clip? Afterwards, they're talking about it, and he said, "Man, he dropped him like a Kendrick diss track."
Oh no. Oh no.
This man, Mark Jones, out here
Oh
with
no.
the
That is
I
brutal.
love it.
That is brutal. That was a great
Gus
play.
Johnson deserves a free
Georgia
shout-out.
Tech with a
Sure,
big,
Kyle.
big win this weekend. And this is what helped it. Big run for the win. Georgia Tech. Let's check it out. Great run. Great
Yeah.
play. Georgia Tech with a big win in the ACC to stay in that conference championship battle.
Sure,
Hey,
they're
what a
good.
They're a
good.
sleeper team in that
They're a
conference,
sleeper
man.
team.
They're good.
Pitt-
That's a good
Pitt
team.
is still undefeated. Miami still sits at the top. Obviously, they're the highest ranked team.
Clemson's
ACC.
starting,
Who's number one?
starting to
though?
get it going. a
All
little
those
bit.
teams-
Clemson is first ranked because they have the most conference wins.
Okay,
But
yeah.
they do have a loss.
They do have a loss.
Yeah.
But they got the best.
All those
conference.
guys are going to be playing each other down the stretch. Pitt, Clemson, Pitt,
I'm
Miami.
keeping my eyes on Pitt.
That's got to be. You got to watch out for Pitt down the stretch, guys. LSU, Ole Miss. We touched on that one also. LSU overtime win versus Ole Miss. Let's watch it. Yeah, that overtime win for LSU.
And
Clutch for Brian Kelly and that LSU Tigers team.
Jimmy,
down
the
there.
main
That
reason I put that play in here, the crowd reaction.
crowd reaction
yeah.
was
That ball
sick.
got- oh my! You could
Sick.
feel it
You could
through the
feel it.
screen.
Yeah, I like when
You
they.
could feel the
I like when the
energy in that
announcer
place.
called it and then immediately because he knew it, and he just cut to the crowd like they just open up that mic and they just let the crowd sort of tell the story for you
Yeah.
watching it on TV.
Oh,
Great.
electric.
When they turn on the
Great
spotlights in the
observation,
stadium,
yeah.
dude, and you just hear the fans. Oh my god, that's the best part about college football, right there. Fans.
Yeah,
It
Fans,
really is. Yeah.
fan the whole atmosphere.
Yeah.
Like I said, like another game that was crazy was that Tennessee Florida, and just the
That was
color
all the time,
coordination
dude.
there in Knoxville with the orange and the white like sections there,
People love it.
and the spotlights going. Special stuff there. What's our next play, Jim?
we got a comment
Oh, yeah.
from Kyle. Gus Johnson deserves a free shout out. Yeah, Gus
He
Johnson
We'll
free
give you a
gets
free
the
one.
gets the free shout out for this hour for till the final whistle. Gus
I like
Johnson.
that pick.
I'm a young play-by-play broadcaster. If you have any, if you have
Tips.
any tips, tricks
Yep,
of the trade,
let us
call in
know.
720-619-0627.
Right here.
Yeah, shout out Gus Johnson. You get the free shout out. Who says that onside kicks can't be recovered anymore? We got a couple here. First one, South Carolina almost upsetting Alabama. I was kind of turning the channel back and forth from a couple football games. I was also watching my Notre Dame Fighting Irish cover the point spread over Stanford. This game, South Carolina, Alabama almost losing to Vanderbilt twice. Can't lose. You get upset. You can't get upset again. Alabama squeaks by versus South Carolina, but South Carolina has a sick onside kick.
We won't talk about how their offense
Threw an interception after this.
right after.
Right after. Yeah, I mean, yeah, South Carolina didn't choke it, but getting that onside kick, 40 seconds left in the fourth quarter with a chance to win it. That's all you want. Just give your guys a shot. You didn't win. You're a bad team anyway. But what a memory. What a kick from that kicker.
Our next onside kick here set the scene. Oregon just scored. There was another personal foul penalty on the extra point attempt, and so they elected to kick this ball from the 30-yard line or from the 50-yard line to throw the 50 on there. I'm not sure if this was called an onside kick by Dan Lanning, if the kicker just called an audible and tried to do this himself, or if he just this squid pick got messed up and it was a heads-up play here. But you just got to see how Oregon gets this ball. Go ahead, roll that clip, Jimmy.
Oh, right off the hand. They just beelined at him.
I like how he stuck his head in there to get
Yeah.
his own.
It was the kicker, man.
That was the kicker.
jumped in there
Throw it
first.
in there.
You know, who said kickers aren't tough?
So
Shout
that,
out.
very
out.
interesting
Shout out
strategy
kicking.
there. Just
Some
kick it
great
as hard
top
as you
plays.
can off of one of the return blockers and see if you can go and get it. Like the way the Oregon players converged on the ball made you think that that was what they were going for. Maybe try to catch OSU off guard. And hey, it worked.
I'm glad we just didn't recycle the same guys that are elite in college football scoring touchdowns. Like we could have shown, our guy from Boise State score another.
Oh, yeah, another crazy.
He had another crazy
Yeah.
run. There's guys that score touchdowns. I like that we switch it up here until the final whistle. On those
Gotta get some of the guys a spotlight here.
Giving out kick. I mean, Pat McAfee. I mean, we're for the brand over here to the final whistle, dude. Like we're supporting kickers over here.
Right.
He has his.
Chicken Little.
He's always asking people, "Have you ever talked bad about a kicker?" Jimmy Covers can't lie. I have. My kickers have been. The Packers have replaced Aaron Rodgers easier than the Green Bay Packers have replaced Mason Crosby. Our field goal kicker since
That's
Mason
valid.
Crosby left,
That's valid.
we have the most missed field goals under 40 yards in NFL history.
Right.
We have to be leading the NFL in this.
Who's
Have
even
you
the
seen
guy
Art-
there? Is it still
seen
Anders
Blake Ruby?
Carlson? Or?
No, we cut him. We got Blake Narvison from the Tennessee Titans.
And he's
He
a
made
rookie,
two.
isn't
Yeah, he's a rookie.
You guys seen?
It's
Peyton
not even
Saints?
close.
He looks like a 12-year-old out there, man.
Yeah.
He is like, it's literally like if I was suiting up. His helmet looks too big. He just looks like a little kid out there.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And,
And same thing with him. He's kind of got to work on the accuracy.
I'll say the Broncos, they've been pretty bad for a while, but one thing that they do really well, they usually have a good defense, and we've had a solid string of kickers. We went from McManus to Will Lutz. Yeah.
Yeah. Will
Those
Lutz
guys
is
are
the man.
Oh, yeah.
He was the man.
He was
Yeah.
pretty automatic.
Brandon McManus got cleared of all that crap that he was being charged with. Green Bay Packers wouldn't be bad to maybe sign Brandon McManus, ex-Broncos kicker.
I forgot about all that
Money.
legal stuff.
Yeah, dude, it was all bull crap.
Yep.
It was all bull
forgot
jive, man.
about
It wasn't
that.
even real, man. Just somebody wanted some money from a rich NFL kicker who's probably done very well for himself. Nope. NFL cleared him. He's back. He can sign with any team. Packers, I mean, if you're going to go on a run, you're going to need a kicker to make a
Yeah,
difference.
that's something.
Brandon McManus has made some big kicks for the Denver Broncos,
That wouldn't be a bad pickup.
and he's kicked in
He's
some
got
bad
a leg,
weather.
man.
And he kicks in bad weather. His leg travels. Bad weather in Green Bay last time I checked. So
And that's going to be something the Packers need. That's a huge, glaring, obvious weakness. Is like the best teams, they can get across the 50 and still come away with 3 because they got the kickers with the leg and the ability. So that's one area. The Packers have looked great this year, but field goal
Packers
kicking,
play the Houston Texans next week, week 7, in Green Bay.
Ooh,
It's going to be an
that's
interesting
gonna
game.
be a crazy game.
Wild game, buddy.
Yeah.
San Fran, Kansas City, Sunday
Ooh.
afternoon on Fox. Tune in for that matchup. Intriguing game next week. Also,
I'm kind of glad that game didn't get like the Sunday night slot because you feel like the NFL would have done that. The
Nope.
Chiefs are just not fun to watch.
no.
They're so boring to watch.
Sunday night football,
Jets, Steelers.
Jets, Steelers. How is that game not getting flexed? What are we doing?
Yeah, that one's got it.
Yeah,
Jets
I
are
don't-
plus 105
Oh,
on the
snooze
money
fest.
line, too.
I don't know how I feel
I
about
gotta
that
go
one.
Jets.
That's gonna be bad. The Steelers are
Baltimore,
another team.
Tampa Bay, a duo Monday night football game again.
That's gonna
Another
be dynamic.
doubleheader?
Yeah.
I like the doubleheader Monday night games. Those are fun.
Yeah.
Chargers, Arizona, early game, that stinks. And
Yeah.
then, or no, that's the late game, excuse me, because that's West Coast. The early game, 4 o'clock our time, boys. Baltimore, Tampa Bay. Intriguing game in Baltimore, in Tampa Bay. Those are probably some of the best games. KC, San Fran, Packers, Houston.
I mean, Tampa's defense
Baltimore,
has been
Tampa
giving up
Bay.
some points. The Ravens, the way they run the ball, they got like their offense is just firing on all cylinders now.
Oh yeah.
Lamar and Derrick Henry just run teams into submission, and then Zay Flowers, they're just finding such creative ways to utilize him and get his speed involved. But Baker, man, absolutely dealing. Godwin and Mike Evans
Couple
are having
division
great
matchups.
seasons. Sean Tucker all of a sudden out of nowhere. You got Bucky
Yeah, Bucky Irvin.
Irvin. Rashad White might be healthy again. Even so, I don't know if they'd even need him necessarily. So that could be another shootout. I'm excited. Ravens, man, they just keep finding themselves in great matchups.
Yeah,
They got a
have
tough
lot of
schedule, man.
games.
Yeah.
They got I think we ran it down like on one of our first shows that we did. Baltimore's got a tough schedule this year.
Yeah.
Cincinnati and Cleveland and Philadelphia and the Giants, a couple division matchups.
Burrow always
Gonna
struggles
be
against the
intriguing.
Browns, man. He's like 1-5
I know.
all time against them. Like he just can't
I
beat
know.
Cleveland for some reason.
Yeah.
It's
Another
so weird
division
to say.
matchup. Oh shit, Detroit and Minnesota play each other next week.
Oh, that's gonna be huge.
That's gonna be
Yeah.
a great game, guys.
Vikings coming off the bye week.
Oh,
Who's
that's
home?
good.
Yeah,
Who's
that's right.
home?
Minnesota's the home team, and they just
Oh.
lost. I would probably have to go Minnesota if I'm going to lean away right now. Kyle, tune in. Drop a comment. Who you got in this Detroit Minnesota game next week? I probably got to go Minnesota. I'm leaning
I
Minnesota.
might go Minnesota here too.
You have 1 minute, Kyle.
It's gonna be Sam
Well,
Darnold just
so-
being able to tear up another weak secondary, dude.
Any
Like,
hot
just
takes
go out
before we leave? And shout out Clock Tower. Tune in to the
Oh, yeah,
Monday
don't
Night
forget.
Football. Tune in till the final whistle. MB Radio. Shout out Clock Tower and Lung Tree. Join us. like and subscribe. Follow us on all the platforms, and we'll let you know where it's at. We'll keep all you guys updated. Well, I cannot wait for Monday Night Football
I'm
watch
excited.
party. Aaron Rodgers,
Oh, it's
I'm
gonna
going
be
to be
great.
going off on this guy, guys.
Yeah.
He's got to get us.
We
He's
might
got to
have
get
to
us.
just
a win.
open the show, do a quick intro, and just let Jimmy,
I might
as a
rant on it.
Packers fan,
I
think
gotta-
you gotta take the floor.
Aaron
do that.
Rodgers has to win this game.
Has
You
to.
have to. This is a must-win football game for the New York Jets, guys.
Easily. It is.
I cannot emphasize this enough. If Aaron Rodgers doesn't get this done, is he washed up?
I think
Tune
so.
into the final whistle to find out on MB Radio.
We are going live from the clock tower at 6 o'clock tonight. Monday Night Football watch party. Be there.
Shout out HG for setting up the Till the Final Whistle first watch party
Sir.
on Till the Final Whistle Military Broadcast Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in
Woo!
to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up
Looking
today's
boys.
show, we want to remind
That's good flow we'll be ready for 6 o'clock.
Oh, yeah.
Fingers crossed for good connection. Fingers crossed for good Wi-Fi.
Well, can't we tap into yours?
Tap into what?
Your internet?
Well, we just don't know how the connection's gonna be with the distance. This place
yeah.
all in like
It's not the distance. What it is so
I
everybody
gotta piss.
everybody has this issue, and I have it too. Everybody has this issue when you leave a location. You think that the next location, the internet's going to be as strong as